Okay, welcome back to Finding Truth Podcast here on Unscripted Truth TV. Got a solo daddy in the building once again. At least hopefully just a start. Some communication issues, I'm assuming, with the better half of the podcast. I know he's been ill, and hopefully everything is going okay with him. But as far as the start, at least the start, I'll be leading us off. And of course, I got to set something up. Bear with me. Okay. Sorry about this. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll just kick it off with a bang. For all the NASCAR heads, hopefully by this time next week we'll have more of a standard beginning of the episodes as far as with NASCAR goes, and me and Austin will be breaking down and making predictions, and based on the research we do on stream and collective information given from the community, which always have great finds, and so on and so forth. But it's been another dry week as far as I've been super busy. Austin has been. He did have some great finds. I expected him to share them this week, but yeah, once again, we'll see the invite sent. So hopefully everything's okay. Maybe just something came up. But as far as NASCAR goes, we will take a look-see here. We have an interesting start, very reminiscent of last season where they loved, giving the threes out, whether it was 3 in a row for Christopher Bell, or even later on in the season, you almost had another three-peat with Denny Hamlin, and we predicted the three-peat after the first win. We said he's going to win another one, and then he's going to win another one, and he ended up winning 2 in a row, and then almost won 3 in a row. But there was some bullshittery there at the end. Oh, here he is. There we go. Hey, what's up? I was just starting. I was just making sure that we didn't go too late. Here he is, people.
What's good, man? Yeah, I was just taking care of something. I don't know if I might have to hop out of here in a second or a few minutes and take care of something. I'm going to see. I'm trying to message somebody right now as this is going on. But, I seen your thing. I seen it at 6, but I was working late. And then I got to get up too early in the morning and stuff. So I just got here now and just hopped in. But, is it just me and you, or?
Yeah, as far as I know.
I see. Yeah. We had another 45 with Reddick. I got so much just going on, just so much announcements, things to talk about, and things to say. But yeah, I tried to follow the race today a little bit. Was kind of following it through, seeing kind of what was going on. Same thing with last week. Everything lining up too with what we've been saying, especially with you have the Super Bowl that happened, all the stuff with Kurt Cobain and Kurt Busch and everything
Kurt
else.
Russell.
Yep, Kurt Russell. Everything aligning perfectly. Trying to think here. Yeah, we were trying to think what we were talking about last time. It's been so long. I haven't been on here a few weeks. It's been hard for me to remember where we were with everything. But yeah, it's been everything we've been talking about though. It's been the mockery. Yeah. The mockery has been there. And it just keeps. It's never been higher than it is right now. It's been the whole, this has been the week of 97, the Vatican turned 97, Kurt Donald Cobain, 97. Then you had the little Papa, that dude that got killed as well. That equals 97. His full name equals 97. Janarius Michael Wheeler. Death 97 at the plane crash 97. William 79, The Reflection, Nirvana 79. My full name equals 79.
Speaking of your name itself, there was apparently another weird attempt on Donald Trump, even though he was at the White House. Mar-a-Lago was apparently someone went into Mar-a-Lago armed with a gas can and a shotgun, and he got killed. And his name was Austin. That was something I was gonna look into here. Here's the story here. His name was, when I first looked at the story, they hadn't announced his name, but his name is Austin Tucker. Got
wow.
Tucker Carlson. As soon as I saw Tucker Austin, Carlson. And he's 21, so it's just like they're just jamming it down your throat. So yeah,
it's just well, as long as his name wasn't Austin William Kletchko equaling 79, I guess we're good. But Austin Tucker, we'll add that to the list. That can go on there.
As far as I know, Austin wasn't going down to Florida. Hopefully that wasn't him. No, but so as far as this race, so what I covered last week was very brief, mainly just kind of going over things we've talked about, how there's the definite potential for 23XI to come out. I guess I don't know if we said come out of the gates firing, but we thought they were going to have a great year just based on the whole, all the work we've done last year talking about 23XI coming into this year with, of course, in the off season having that settlement with Trackhouse and 23XI and NASCAR. Of course, it was a solar eclipse on Michael Jordan's birthday. There was a lot going on that lined up last week's win for him. And another interesting fact is, because we thought Tyler Reddick was interesting all playoffs long last year. We were just like, what are they doing with this guy? Well, it's just like, it's obvious that there's something they're doing with this guy because he's the only one who hasn't won and he's in. And then he even made it past the first round. You know what I mean? We were like, there's something they have for the plan for this guy. Little did we know it was next year a possible. And, we're on the cusp of a potential another three-peat. I was just saying how they love their three-peats.
Yeah. Yeah. And it ties in perfectly with everything we've been saying. They've been lining this up to a T. With Tyler Reddick, I mean, his birthday there, 1/1/96. And it's interesting too, all the things we've been talking about, how all this is lining up, obviously, like with Kurt Busch and everything, and how, that's the car he retired in, got injured in and retired in. Obviously been talking about, Chad Little and Kurt Busch starting his career, taking over Chad Little's car, and they were going back and forth there at the end, and then I was connected to Earnhardt and stuff, and we just had the 25th death anniversary there of Earnhardt as well. And go figure, it's Tyler Reddick to get it done in the 45. And it's so amazing is it's 37 days, or it was a month and 6 days, is 37 days, a month and 6 days for another 16. It's like, the Seahawks win the Super Bowl with 16 points over the Patriots, and then the first touchdown was a 16-yard touchdown pass. It was a month and 6 days. Another 16 were from Tyler Reddick. His being born to Michael Jordan's 33rd birthday, and of course, Michael Jordan 23, and that was on February 17th of 1996. And that was a day Chad Little as well in the 23. He brought John Deere to NASCAR on Michael Jordan's 33rd birthday. And, obviously that was his number, and that was when he was in his prime, 23. So all that connected perfectly. And as well, too, with all the 23s, I mean, you had Kurt Busch 23 days before they won a 500 going into the Hall of Fame on January 23rd for all the 23s. So you have, Michael Jordan 23, Chad Little won those 6 races, 95 and the 23. lining up to when he brought John Deere to NASCAR, and then Tyler Reddick born just right before that, right on the cusp of that. So they picked the perfect guy. What we've been talking about too, all the dicks lately too, right? All the dicks. So you have Red Dick. We talk about Dick Trickle. That's why, it's why you have all the things we show, why, Chad Little retires the same race as Dick Trickle on that, go figure they're going to go out together. Tony Raines makes his first start, and then with Kurt Busch, all the connections. I mean, back there in 2002 when Chad Little's last Busch race was in 2002 at Vegas. That's Kurt Busch's hometown, their home track there, Vegas. That was his last Busch race there in 2002. And then 22 days later, Kurt Busch finally got a win there in the 97 in the Cup Series, won his first race. And look how they linked that up for the Daytona 500. I mean, you had Kyle Busch on the pole when Kurt Busch just went into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
So you have the connection there. They line that up perfectly. And again, SVG in that 97, it lines up perfectly because if SVG wins the next race, like we've been saying, it's going to be his road course coming up, and then he's got to get it done at the Glen to beat Jeff Gordon's record. Like,
Absolutely.
Glenn Little with Glenn right in the middle name. He's got to do it at the Glen 97, and he's been killing it. I mean,
check out their little header video. Why put SVG on the highlight, the front of the highlights? He had a great race, came in top 10 it. But like, look at this. I don't know if you can see it. I tried to blow it up a little bit, but yeah. They're just hinting at you. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, he led laps at the Clash, did well there. He led laps and led the halfway point at Daytona, and then he was leading again today, and then he got in two wrecks. He got in two different wrecks today. He got wrecked by Larson, got wrecked, and then spun again, and still finished sixth. So, I mean, it's coming. I mean, there's no doubt it's coming, and Cobain.
Oh man, it's gonna be beautiful when he wins an oval too, because it's just gonna be like, who else would be calling him winning ovals? Like, I want to know one person, and I need proof too. I need to see the video of you saying, yeah, he's going to be winning oval. I guarantee you he will.
Yeah, I mean, and like a Cobain equals 26.
Yep.
Kurt Cobain's blowing up right now in the news as you got Kurt Russell in the pace car for the Daytona race, and Kurt Russell's 74. Kurt Busch goes to the Hall of Fame at 47. So you have 74 and 47, like Chad Little retired in the 74. And then you have Kurt Cobain just turned 59. So he just turned 59 on Friday. That was 2 days ago. It's 222. It's Order Out of Chaos today. And then he turned 59 on Friday. It was a 60th year of life. So he's in his 60th year. We just had Super Bowl 60. Ryan Preece in the 60 car won the Clash. So you had the perfect lineup there. And, like I said, too, how all this is tied together with, the Seahawks and Washington. Chad Little went in the West Coast Hall of Fame in 2013. The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl that year. Again, tying all this back to Washington and everything going on. And then Kurt Busch goes in the Hall of Fame this year. Again, retires in the 45, starts his career in, Chad Little's car, takes over, and then retires. And then, had to retire 4 years ago. Then he goes in the Hall of Fame. Who wins the Super Bowl again? It's the Seahawks. Their only two Super Bowls is when both of them went in the Hall of Fame, Chad and Kurt. So, I mean, they have it all. I mean, it's just undeniable. And again, 2 in a row for the 45 and Reddick. Just doubling down everything we said. Like I said, 16 points the Super Bowl, the 16-yard touchdown pass. It's just 16
for that. Greg Biffle in the 16 car.
It's 16 city.
I mean, it's countless. Really, we've spotted a lot more than that, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, good catch with the 1 month, 6 day thing. That I literally already had it in the calculator. I had already been looking at these things. I saw the 37 days, but I did not notice the 1 month, 6 days too. So that's good.
Yeah, it's just undeniable how they've been lining it up, and with everything going on, and and it was the same thing last time. Too, when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, that was Kurt Cobain was booming at that time too, with everything and all the stuff coming out from that. There was a lot of stuff on his death, and there was like soaked in bleach, and That's when all that information really started coming out and getting out around that time. And then, here we are again with the Seahawks. And then you have the same thing happening again with, Kurt Cobain. And like I said, it was going to be a year of Kurt Cobain anyways, because, Cobain equaling 26 and everything else. So, all these things happening in Washington. So, of course, they're going to bring that back and push that through. And I mean, it's just, it's just undeniable how all this is synced up. It's everything we've been talking about. I mean, the last few weeks could have been more of a mockery.
And like, what's so vindicating and cool about it is like, and I'll give you more credit than me. I've been along the ride with you, and I've since jumped on the bandwagon with you, of course. But it's just like you've been going on about this in a good way, explaining how there's this is something it's not going to go away, and that if you followed us, you know how much Austin's gone in on Nirvana, and we've done some of our best like detective work has been actually on things of that nature. But anyway, just you pressing the issue and saying, how this year is going to be about Nirvana and everything. I just can imagine a dissenter being like, bro, what's this guy talking about? And then just like January of that next year, it's just like reopening Kurt Cobain's death as a homicide. They'll just be like, oh shit. Oh shit. He kind of had that one. Whoops.
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, what do you have? I mean, you have Tyler Reddick, winning in the 45. That's the day, Kurt Cobain died, of course. And I mean, it's just all Kurt. I mean, you have, you got, Kurt Busch in the Hall of Fame. You got Kurt Russell in the pace car. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the way they're doing everything, I mean, it's just, you couldn't have seen like, I mean, like I said, I didn't really look into the 500 and even this race, but it's not surprising at all. It's obvious why these people why even Reddick got wrecked in this race too. He got wrecked, he got damaged, he didn't have a fender. They're going on about that at the end of the race. Like, how did Reddick? Because once he got taken out in that wreck too today, I'm like, he might be done. He's probably done, and then he still wins the race with like no fender. And they're going on about like, how is his car that fast? How is he doing this with literally no fender? So they're going on about that.
Oh. I don't know if you can hear me, but your audio cut out. Hopefully we'll get you back. Oh, you sound like you're back.
I see. It may be glitching out a bit.
Yeah, it cut out just for a minute there. There you go. You're back.
I see.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that, but yeah, I mean, I was watching like I said, I watched the little tracker thing, and it was confusing. It's like, yeah, there was a lot of extra laps at the end. And I was just like, I felt bad for Bubba Wallace because it was just like he was winning at every like the ticker up the little tracker updated it from 260 laps, which is funny, the 26 right there. But it updated it from 260 and he was winning. And it was like paused on 260 out of 260. Bubba Wallace wins basically, and then it updated it to 265, and it's just like, oh, there was some extra laps. And then at 265, Bubba Wallace was winning. I was like, oh, he won. And then it updated it again, 275. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, as far as I'm sure it's just the tracker being slow and stupid, but obviously people not following the tracker knew what was going on, but just the way they updated it was very weird. It had it like 3 stages of updates of extra overtime, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean these races. I mean last week too. I mean, I know this race was kind of like last week. I mean you had 2 restrictor plate races back to back, but I know last week, I know Hamlin caused a couple wrecks. I know he took SVG, and SVG was still going, but he got a couple laps down last week. I know he got wrecked too at the Clash too. Every race that's the thing too. Every race he's been wrecked and crashed and spun out, but he's also led laps too. So it's just unbelievable. And he's just 3, it's a little small Clash, quarter mile, 2 back-to-back super speedways. Now we go to, of course, his road course next week. for the big 97, to line that up perfectly with all the 97s going on. And I didn't see, I know like I said, the Glen is in May, so it's going to be a while. It's going to be like about 2 months, because next week's March already too. It's March 1st, a week from today. So that's going to be about 2 months. Yeah, just over 2 months till the next road course. Been trying to take a look at the schedule and see when the races are and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, where he qualifies and how next week goes. If he's able to, I mean, with the way everything is going, it looks like he's should be on course to tie Jeff Gordon for that record. And it's it's interesting too, because the last time somebody won 2 races to start the year, last time it was Matt Kenseth in 2009. That was 17 years ago. Kill equals 17. Kenseth drove the 17. That was for Roush. Roush, he won the championship there, and Roush's first championship. Kurt Busch won the second championship for Roush. That was the only 2 championships. So it hasn't been since Kenseth that someone's won the first 2 races of the year. But Jeff Gordon's also done that. I think it said it's only happened like 6 times. I don't know if anyone has ever won the first 3 races of the year to start, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he does go 3 in a row, just with everything we've been showing, and just, how everything's been lining up perfectly. And Michael Jordan and Kurt Cobain, their birthdays only 3 days apart. Michael Jordan born 70 days before Chad Little. So I mean, everything just is lined up perfectly. I mean, you have all the dates, all the cars, all the numbers, everything we've been talking about.
And even
and I'm sure.
I was gonna say Reddick's birthday was 42 days before this race, and it was the Auto Trader 400, and Auto Trader equals 42. I know he had some like banking group as a sponsor as well, Pinnacle Banking Group. So I didn't see too much about them other than I tried to go probably a little too deep, but and then of course you have back to back. I think we've talked about back to back before equaling 201 and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've had.
No. Technical difficulties, people. Bear with us. I do want to get through the rest of his information because he's been texting me, and he's talked about a lot of it already, but he has some good stuff. And if you've been following his work before he was ill, he's put a lot of, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's necessarily time, but he's put a lot of his brain power into calculating the links going way back with, we've done it on the streams with a Legal Smile, you talking about Chad Little and the connections. I mean, not just Chad Little, but especially Chad Little, and great, of course, with the Greg Biffle news and all that stuff. Sorry, you cut out again, so I was kind of taking the reins there. But yeah, I was just letting them know that this information, is what's the word? It is comprehensive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like what we talked about last year. We called like 10 races, right? Of the now this year. I mean, obviously we didn't call these first 2, but I'd say next week, it's either a shoe-in for SVG or Tyler Reddick at this point. It's just it's just unbelievable how these things have just came. I mean, literally everything we said. I mean, I talked about how SVG is going to start just being up front, running well at the ovals, just because he's in the 97. I mean, just couldn't do it in the 88, couldn't do it any other number, but that 97, he takes over that 97, and just now he's leading laps every week, running up front, contending for wins. Probably had the best car last week. Probably may have the best car this week too, because he got in multiple wrecks and still finished 6th. I know, like I said, Reddick, even with the damage, was able to hold off and do well and continue on. And it's crazy. I mean, Kurt Busch going in that Hall of Fame at big 47. Kurt Russell in that pace car, 74 years old. I know he's turning 75 soon, but they had to get that in right before he turned 75. Make sure he was still 74 for that. Kind of like everything else going on. Yeah, I mean, basically it's basically been a birthday presents too for Michael Jordan, all this stuff too. And it's I've been watching. I know Hamlin just last week and this week he's been causing wrecks and not really doing well. So I don't know if he's gonna maybe fall off this year. And it's they're trying to and it's interesting too because last time like I talked about Kenseth won those first two races in 2009, but he missed the chase that year when they had the chase. He actually missed it. That was the first time he missed the playoffs. That was like one of the only times he missed the playoffs. So maybe Reddick doesn't even make it to the playoffs. You never know. I mean, obviously I would think he would, but just the way things are and the way, because it's not the system they've been running where you win, you're in. Now it's kind of back to the chase somewhat, but modified. So
yeah, fair point.
It's not the Winston Cup either. So it's interesting.
Yeah, the mockery could be that exactly. He starts the season, like crazy, but doesn't even make it. Whereas last year he didn't even get a win, yet he made the playoffs. It's just like some interesting stuff.
And it's been 4 years since Kurt Busch got injured, retired in the car. 4 being the number of death, and all these things lining up perfectly. 4 or 5, like like I said,
number 2.
Yep.
Naturally.
Yeah, all these things. Kurt Busch perfectly on January 23rd goes in the Hall of Fame. 23 days for the Daytona 500. So, Michael Jordan's birthday, and he's sweeping away. Kurt Cobain, like I said in the news, blowing up with all the Kurts. Yeah, like I said, Chad Little's best finish ever in the Cup was second and on April 8th or April 5th, 1998, exactly 4 years after Kurt Cobain's death on 4-5, the 45, saving up another 45, related to Kurt Cobain and Reddick and all this Kurt Busch 45. And it's how they do it, paying tribute to Washington, people in Washington, history of Washington, whether it's NASCAR, football, anything, just lining everything up just undeniably. I mean, even the Super Bowl. I mean, you had Washington, like I talked about. Kurt Busch going to Hall of Fame, and Chad Little went in. Seahawks win, and Kurt Busch goes in. They win again. They're only 2. They win. So, I mean, it's just. I mean, how are you going to deny it? I mean, Kurt Cobain, the 60th year of his life for Super Bowl 60, the 60 car. Ryan Priest talked about him last year. Like, when's he going to get a win? Oh, he's going to win in the 60, but it's going to be for Super Bowl 60. So even he had a part in this. So. Yeah, maybe he'll win a race this year that actually matters, but I mean, they had to get the 60 in there. I mean, they had to emphasize that. I mean, it's just, I mean, they just have to get that in there no matter what. And yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting week next week with how this plays out to SVG. It was weird too because they didn't. I think qualifying got rained out for this race, so Reddick actually started on the pole too because this went off of points from last week. So Reddick started. I was waiting for qualifying. I was like looking yesterday. I'm like, where's the qualifying for this race? So they're not having it. I'm like, I guess it got rained out, but I couldn't find anything that said got rained out. I guess it's like just today. So, yeah, it's interesting. He started first, and last week he started 20. Where did Reddick start? He started 26th. And the guy that started 16th, Stenhouse, and he ended up getting second. And the 16, yep. The 16 and the 47. And then the guy who starts 26th in 2026, or calendar year 2026 as of now, and Cobain equaling 26. It's where, Cobain dies on 4-5, so the 45 is going to win the race. Yeah, it's just nuts. And then just to go 2 in a row. Yeah, and like I said, can't remember if there's been a 3 in a row. There may have been, but like I said, I would not count it out.
Okay, yeah, you suck. No, not 3 races in a row. The first 3 races. Okay. None have ever won 3. Oh, that's F1. What the hell? Here we go. It just says it's rare. Man, shut up. The question. Maybe if I spelled it right.
The damn AI. Damn you, AI.
Okay. No one's won the first 3 according to this. Yo. What the fuck? All right, listen to this. While several drivers have won the first 2, the streak has always ended before the 3rd race. The closest attempts, such as Tyler Reddick in 2026, literally today, saw a driver win the opening 2 races but fail to win the 3rd. So it's telling the future now?
Yeah, well,
they took our jobs. They took our jobs. Wait, why is it just straight up saying that he's already going to lose next week?
I guess for another 16, you could say he's one of 6 drivers to win the first 2. So I guess if you say one of 6, that's another 16 as well.
That's weird. That's strange how they worded that. I have to keep that in the back of my head. It's like maybe AI is useful in other ways. Did we just find the cheat code? Very weird. So yeah, it looks like no one. So that would be another. We talk about how they love their craziness. I mean, of course, we've had SVG for this race for God, how long now? So a year. So I'm definitely hoping SVG wins just to kind of cement what we've been saying since almost a year ago. But yeah, it'd be interesting if they did that for sure.
Yeah, because the 97 hasn't won since Kurt Busch in the 97 hasn't won since I think Kurt Busch in 2005. So
Interesting. Let's look at what date that was.
I think it was September at Richmond was his last win.
September 10th at Richmond. Good memory. September 10th, huh?
Day before 9/11.
9/11 Eve.
So yeah, that was the last race for the chase that year.
It'll be 193 days later, or yeah.
21 years.
44th prime.
Or almost about 20 and a half years.
Yeah. See, thing I wanted to check too was where was Zillage at?
He DNF'd again. He got wrecked again.
Yeah. Well,
but he's been doing good, so it's just you just got to finish.
Not a lot. I mean, more. I think more people DNF'd than didn't this race. Just so you guys know too. That's something I noticed that, at least I think, or it was close.
Half the field.
No. Just about half. Yeah, almost half. not over half, but yeah. Yeah, they love doing this. This is, if you in my opinion, you could either think that that Zillich is just going to go nowhere. Maybe he'll be like a phenom that wins a few races. Obviously, a potential phenom that won a few races but never really does anything, like a flash in the pan kind of guy. I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to definitely use him as like potential face moving forward, as like the new guard, if you will, as the face of the new guard. And we've talked about this, but yeah, what they love doing with that is like slow starts into like, just think about like some of the championship teams that it's just like, they'll say it's like grit and determination. It adds to like the character of the whole, when you able to pull yourself up, and it's like a narrative thing. They love doing that with potential, with stars that have slow star, or before they're a star. This is like what makes them a star, is like them showing that through all the unfortunate stuff, they can come out ahead. And so don't be surprised if he makes a push mid-season and gets hot. If anything, it might even just be to make the way for SVG, just so rather than him coming out hot and like challenging him on this next week, it could be that he's having a slow start. He's not acclimating to NASCAR as well as he'd hoped to, and stuff like, they love writing that kind of stuff. It's just, how they do it. It's just beat writers will be able to say, oh, the garage is down because like they expected him to come out and be a lot more acclimated, but he's proving that he's having a tough time with the big guys, and I can already see the article. I could write it, in fact, better than AI could. Yeah, if we take a look here, Bubba ended up dropping down to 8th, even though he was leading almost the entire extra laps.
Yeah, the 23 there, another 23.
Mm-hmm. Blaney was close as well, and that's another one. I'm keeping my eye on Blaney. Don't you worry, we're not.
Logano was really good last week, and this week he just keeps getting wrecked and spun too. A lot of people. Austin Cindric, I know, won stage 1. Byron won stage 2 today. So
he led a lot of laps. Cindric did. I know he did too. Chastain,
Cindric always good at the super speedways, those restrictor plates.
I got a great email from Joseph about Ross Chastain and his potential to get a win. And honestly, I'd have felt pretty good with, just with the notes that he had, because he was there the entire time. I didn't watch the race, so maybe he dropped out of the top 10 at some point, but he was there the whole time I was watching the little ticker. He was either like, a 0.2 behind or barely a second behind for a lot of the end of the last quarter of the race. So I was pulling for Chastain this one, just so that guy, it's just so he could have been right. Of course, I sent him an email. I was like, that was a great call and you had really good points, but it's just like, of course, with hindsight being 2020, you can see what they were doing with Michael Jordan and all that stuff. And of course, Michael Jordan, I don't know if you caught this, but he was in some not really hot water or anything, but they were, it was like a viral video on the internet of him like pinching and touching Reddick's son really weird at the celebration ceremony in Daytona, which people have commented on. Stephen A. Smith, he was just like, I know the man. He, without the context, I'm not going to sit here and say that, he did anything wrong. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, sorry, I need to work on my Stephen A. Smith voice. But anyway, you can imagine. But he was defending Michael Jordan, which is whatever. It wasn't like the worst thing you've ever seen or anything. He was just like pinching his butt and then like gently caressing with the back of his like fingers his upper leg. So it was weird. That's not to say, okay, let's just strip everything away. Of course, I was commenting different last week when we were talking about it. I was kind of going off on him, but what the other comments I made that was, I think, more important was just the whole scene, the scene as a whole, because you just had all these adults, his mom, his dad, and all the garage, and Michael Jordan, and all these adults sitting around chugging beers around the podium. And you had his wife, I assume it's his wife, and they have like a newborn baby. They have a young child, and she's holding a little baby chugging a beer. And it's just like the scene as a whole. Now, of course, we know that this is the redneck sport, and they're modernizing it, actually pretty rapidly. But at its core, they do have to maintain that audience of white people, that certain audience of white people. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, they can get away with it, but it was just a kind of like a weird, gross scene to watch. It's just like, bro, there's this little kid front and center of this shot, and all the parents around him are just chugging beers. It was just, it's just one of those things. It's just like, well, man, different worlds for different people, I guess. I mean, I understand that happens. People have cookouts and everything. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm saying these people deserve hell or anything. I'm just saying it was just like an ugly scene. And of course, they had to shame Michael Jordan. That's what the other part I brought up is that, they're going to use this as an opportunity to, crucify him in the court of public opinion pretty quickly from all the social justice warriors. Even I was going off on him, but it is what it is. I could care less about these people. I'm sure Michael Jordan's been to a party or two on certain islands, so I'm not too worried about dragging them in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just everything he's involved in. It's like what he said. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, how it's all. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's not just connected the way we're saying it's connected. I mean, it's literally all these sports. I mean, from people that are in football owners, basketball, wrestling, NASCAR. It's all connected. All these people, and it's not just. We talk about like Joe Gibbs and all that stuff, and then look at how he had his quarterback there, Mark Rippon, and then how he gets involved in NASCAR as well. And he had Greg Pollux, and then Joe Gibbs, with like Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart and like Dale Jarrett and like Pontiac and all that stuff. How he came in the sport and then you have the people that he's associated with, and then they get in the sport, like how he won the Super Bowl with Mark there, Rippon, and then you have Greg Pollux, and they get in, and then he's got Chad Little as a driver, and then they all team up, and these people this is what it is. It's just this one big show. That's why, like I said, you have these connections, not just tracks and dates and numbers, but the people in it too. Like I said, with like Kurt Busch, and in Vegas, and how it's connected with Las Vegas. That's why you got Little ending his Busch career and last race in Vegas, and his first race in the Busch series is going to be at the Glen because his middle name is Glenn. That's why SVG's got to beat Gordon at the his record at the Glen, and it's coming down to the next race, and now he's in the 97 with all this. I mean, these people, these names. That's why they scope all this out. Mark Ripen, he's Jack Roush buys out, Chad's team there in 97. In 97, he goes to the 97 car in 1997 in the Cup Series, and then Jack Roush buys it out. Look at Jack Roush's birthday, April 19th. So you got an April 19th, you got an April 29th. Like talk about the Roush drivers from Washington, Chad and Greg and all this stuff, and how these people are associated with this. It's so big. I mean, that's why you have, even NASCAR, you have like the NWO, the New World Order car. You got the WCW car. You got wrestling getting involved. You got basketball getting involved, basketball people owning cars, football people owning cars, whether it's quarterbacks or players or, Super Bowl champions, or it's coaches. I mean, anyone that can get involved and connect the dots. That's why it's all like it literally is all connected. I mean, it's just every way. I mean, all these things, to when things are going to happen, to who's going to be involved, and it's just amazing. I mean, how, how is anybody? And that's the thing. It's like you're not going to have any other, people on the internet or that with NASCAR or anything that, I mean, I certain things I hear, it's just like how we missed last year with the, obviously the big, Byron there with Tennessee, but we missed that. We missed that somehow. But as far as I see, there's not anyone else connecting the dots. We might miss something here or there, that we just somehow passes us. But as far as putting it all together, there's no one out there in the world that I know that even comes close to doing it the way we do it. And all these people all these NASCAR channels, they won't even touch what we're talking about, because they wouldn't even comprehend it. I mean, we're just on such a level that they can't even comprehend. We don't even need the geometry. Once you apply the geometry, I mean, it's all there too. I mean, it couldn't be any more there. It's the icing on the cake is there in every way. And I mean, who else was talking SVG, leading laps every race, running up front, doing better on the ovals when he couldn't do anything in the 88, could just dominate a road course, but couldn't do anything on the ovals. But now he's in that 97, it all changes. In the 97, it all changes. Now you got Zilich in the 88. I mean, no one's, will be calling that out. People are all, SVG, stuff, but they really don't get it with that 97. They might be going, SVG 97, but they're not locked into it like we're locked into it. Like when they can go Kurt Donald Cobain equals 97 right there on a big green 97, they're not doing that. They don't have that knowledge, and that's something that we have over everybody, because it's just they might see that it might be rigged, that it might be scripted, but they don't understand just how perfect it truly is. I mean, this is everything we say. We literally just repeat ourselves every week, and then it just plays out perfectly every week to what we just said. I mean, we know they're watching our channel.
I mean, our narrative, mid-season when we really spotted Blaney, and we're just like, yo, what the fuck are they doing here? Look at what they could do. And for it to go down to the literal second to last race, and for it to even complete itself after he, loses the second to last race, it still completes it as it, if he were to just have won that previous race, that would have been exactly what we said. But it had to cut our thing short just slightly, our prediction short just slightly. So that, I mean, because if that came through, we're talking about, I don't remember where we started the whole dark horse Ford Blaney theory, but that thing just kept playing out more and more every single week until it was like, bro, like I said, I'm not any kind of NASCAR fan or anything like that, but dude, I was locked in last year. I was like, dude, there's no way. I was ready to be like so hype if we had called it. And I had plans of making a compilation and everything just to show how we've been calling this thing for months, and we spotted the narrative, and I still think we did. I truly think that we did. And one thing about sports is you got to realize these things are easy to double, triple, probably quadruple code to have things line up differently to get a different outcome, because people bet on these games. And if people are hip to the game, and they're if they're tipping the scales in Vegas, let's just call it Vegas, with putting large futures out, that if they pay, say you had a future, like the one we talked about, that they could sit there and say, oh, that's all good. We got this whole Tennessee thing. We have this whole Tennessee thing on backup. We have this other ritual that's perfect for this day, and we'll just slam it there. We had planned on Blaney winning it, but he's a team player. He'll sandbag for us, and then he can have the consolation prize at the last race. And look at what they did. That's exactly what they did. He was on pace to do. I'm talking about to a T. We talked about him losing, just skating through the playoffs in order to get into the position where he needs to win, get to that race, win it, and then win the last one and win. And he did everything but win the second to last one, where he was leading right at the end. Right at the end, he was winning. Oh, my God. I don't want to talk about it again. But anyway. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we've been somehow, some way. It's almost as if we have some sort of competency over here or something like that. Hey, That's not a quote or anything. I'm just assuming there's something going on for us to be able to spot these narratives way ahead of time. And I'm excited to get into maybe more of the full swing of things. Week on, week out. Checking out these races and trying to get to a place where we were last year, because it's been pretty dry at the start of this season, guys. And I do apologize, and assume we apologize. It definitely hasn't been the gangbusters start that we thought that might happen. Of course, we've had extenuating circumstances, so please bear with us. But yeah, hopefully within too long we will be doing much more comprehensive analysis and things of that nature, and trying to pick up on things. But that doesn't mean we don't. I guess as far as futures go, we do have a future out, and it just happens to be the deadline is next week. So it's not like there isn't something that we talked about last season that's coming up here. So we do have a call from last season. And I want to say, before I yap over my own frame of mind, Kyle Busch did win the truck series. So I wanted to just point that out, because you're cooking with the whole Busch thing in 45, and that all makes tons of sense. And of course, his brother wins in the truck series.
Yep, Kyle Busch got his first pole at Daytona. Yeah, and just perfectly lines up. It's just amazing. Yeah, I think that was his third truck win there in a row. I think he won 3 years in a row there in the trucks, or multiple wins now.
Oh, geez. I would not be surprised if they had 3
Yeah.
in a row. Man, there's something there. But yeah, point that out. And so, yeah, we got, of course, the Circuit of the Americas. And we got at Phoenix coming up. Then Las Vegas. 15th. Darlington. Martinsville. Bristol. The Advent Health is coming back. The good old 201.
April 19th. So watch out for that day.
Good point.
Jack Roush.
Ooh, good point. Yeah, we'll definitely. But we got to make sure we kind of target in on that. That's having another race on April 19th. That's good. And a 201 sponsor, no less. Then we got Talladega, the Texas Motor, and then the Glen. So all the way in May. Yo, it's a day after SVG's birthday. Am I tripping?
Yep.
No, it is a day after his birthday. His birthday is May 9th. Another 59, by the way. But yeah, so it'll be a day after his birthday. Are they just paying birthday? Are they just giving out birthday gifts this year? That could be the thing. So pay attention to that, guys. It might be very birthday oriented, because already you got the big Michael Jordan 2-piece celebration going on. So keep an eye out for drivers' birthdays being playing heavy. I mean, even Tyler Reddick's birthday. I mean, like I said, he was 42 days before the race, and Auto Trader equals 42. And even then, it's just like Reddick's birthday was, January. It was just like last month. So it's kind of like as far as when he won, the first race he could have after his birthday. So it is kind of like a birthday present still.
Yep.
Of course, he's won 2 now, but I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, I mentioned this on the little preamble last week, but I am working on like a Google sheet to highlight everybody. Like right now, I already finished the owners and co-owners, like even some of the obscure ones, just because it was a learning curve for me. Like I didn't know a lot of the people that were involved in this, or like the co-owner dynamic. Like I didn't know all the Woods brothers that were still in ownership of Woods Brothers Racing, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm working on a spreadsheet just to have their birthdays, and like probably also their where their hometown or whatever, and things of that nature, just for easy access for me. And then of course it'll be a Google sheet, so I'll just provide a link and anybody can use it. But it should be easy as soon as I sit down and do it. Of course, I work a lot more now, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't find a. It would probably only take me around an hour to just go through all the drivers in NASCAR with their birthdays, at least their birthdays to start, and get it all down. But yeah, I was hoping to do it by team as well. That was the other. I guess that's the only other. It doesn't really matter. I could do them all at once and then move them around and flip some around and put them under their teams or whatever, or garages, but still. But yeah, I am working on that. So hopefully I'll have that available for anybody that might want it too. But just thought I'd let you know. So we'd be looking at SVG's 7th win next week. And of course, Google AI already confirmed that Tyler Reddick can't win 3 in a row. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see yes, because it's not like SVG wins every pole on the road courses. From my memory, right. I don't even think he wins the pole, does he?
He won it a few times last year, a couple times.
Well,
the last 2, I don't think he won.
Okay. And keep in mind too, you might have another duel like the last road course with Larson and SVG. Yeah, at least from my memory, that might not have been the last road course, but I think one happened in the playoffs. But I think before the playoffs, during the season, the last road course, SVG won. No, it might have been the one in the playoffs. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was the one in the playoffs.
Yeah. Larson was right there. Like, I mean, as close as anybody else was, because he was pretty far ahead of the field. But
Bell was in it too, and Bell won the only other road course last year. This was the race he won last year. So
very true. And Bell's there this race too. It was an interesting.
He got wrecked last week. Got wrecked this week. Yeah, he's been getting wrecked too.
He needs to work on his spin outs. They're getting rusty.
Yeah.
October 5th was his. Yeah, October 5th was his last win. Let's see here. $218. Oh, what about 447 days? 21 weeks total. Anyway, I mean, could be in the date calculations. I don't know, but I think there's some pretty hefty evidence for SVG to pick this up. I mean, then again, it does kind of put us into a similar dynamic as our Blaney call last year, because we could get like we're kind of leapfrogging, assuming that he's going to have the chance to break Gordon's record, but they could just sell it short right now. And who better to stop him? It could be Larson that stops him, or a Hendrick driver stops him. You know what I mean? One of Gordon's drivers. That'd be. I mean, what if like a Hendrick car wrecks him or something like that? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's a mechanical failure or something, and just that's the crazy thing. It's just it's just like they were saying. How did Reddick win this race without a fender? How is he doing so good? He got wrecked and he still came back to win. And then SVG like last week, I know he got a couple laps down last week, and that's what really screwed him. He just wasn't able to get all his laps back when he got wrecked. But the same thing this race, got wrecked multiple times and then was still doing good. It's like that. It's his car is like extra durable. You can't stop it. It's like I was saying last win when he won the last time. I was saying the same thing. Like how his car just looks like it's like it's bulletproof. Like it's not even. How is he not cutting tires and he's getting gashed and he's not. He doesn't have any mechanical problems. Just somehow he's just able to just easily dominate. So Yeah, be very interesting to see. You know, is it going to be is it going to be a different kind of style win too? He wins now. He's in the 97. Is it going to be something a little different? Or last year, I mean, it
Less
was pretty much.
dominant.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be less dominant. It's going to be maybe he leads less laps, or maybe he just kind of is just kind of clutch at the right time. Or it's going to be very interesting to see what the difference is with that, with the car number change. And two, how does it transfer to the ovals? If if he does get a win at an oval, which one is it going to be? And is it going to be, does he? That's why I thought too. It would be interesting to see if he won one of these two races of the restrictor plate tracks. I know Talladaga's coming up there, but before the Glen, there 2 weeks before the Glen. That's another place he might be able to get a win at as well. Maybe it'll be somewhere else though too. I mean, just it's hard to say right now, but it's very interesting to see how it's. Maybe it'll be later in the year he gets a win at an oval, or how they're going to do it, where it's going to be, but it'll be Las Vegas.
Well, I said maybe it's not in the date calculation, and then I'm kind of eating my words here, because from his last win to March 1st is 147 days, and March 1st is the 60th day of the year, and Travis County TX 147. So that is where this race will be taking place. The Circuit of the Americas. What's that? I know we've looked this up before. I don't remember what it was though. If I could spell. Oh yeah, it's 206. Interesting. We talk all the Seattle talk. Got the area code there.
Yeah. And then it's one Super Bowl 60, so you got the 60 in there. You got the 84, Austin, it's all there. 127.
What's its other name? I think it has another name too. Maybe not. It's funny this race is in Austin though, and then you just had that Austin guy in the news.
Yeah,
getting killed at Mar-a-Lago. No, it's just
about Austin.
But yeah, I figured for as long as I have you, in case you need to dip, I just had a few other stories lined up to talk about, and just give our 2 cents on. There's just a couple, and then whatever you have as well. I did kind of not brush. I really didn't touch on it yet, but because I kind of like brushed past, I should say, the Vatican turning 97 or whatever. So
yep, the Vatican turning up that 97. Yep.
So that's something I forgot to kind of touch on. But one thing I did want to talk about was just like the overwhelming state of just like news, and like just another year is going by and people are getting swept away in the cycle of war. Are we going to war? This and that. But of course you have this whole Iran thing that's just been going back and forth. And like even this article, it was like 6 hours ago when I pulled it up. There was another one that was like 5 minutes old that said like Trump has already, let's see if I can find it. Trump already says that he's just like, oh no, never mind that. We're pulling out of any Iran talks. Let's just do Iran war. And then it says Trump doubles down on trade war. There was one that said, was it Iran war? Oh well, we'll just go with this one. Either way, the point isn't even about necessarily the details, more about like this is it's a news cycle. They literally call it the news cycle, and it's not like a pet name for what it is. It is a cycle. They do these things cyclically. This is nothing new under the sun. They'll do this no matter the president, no matter what's going on. They will cycle these fear mongering, war mongering, any kind of monger. There's adjective or noun mongering. They're pros at it. And this is just another one of those things where it'll sink into people's minds. They'll have worry that That's not unnecessary worry. They'll have things like clawing at the back of their head, saying making them feel unsafe in some way. And what happens when they are able to do a false flag attack or a false flag pandemic? What happens? Your instinct takes over, and that your instinct will latch on to that subconscious propaganda that they fed into you with all this garbage. And you'll be a drone out there stomping out people over toilet paper, at the drop of a dime. And this is just another example of it. And of course, all these things going out, all the American people want on TikTok, at least. Not that I'm on TikTok, I just know that that's where a lot of these things trend from, is the list. And they want to know everybody on the list, and they want to know the comprehensive Epstein, who everybody was doing, what everybody was doing. And everybody, that's all people want. Aliens, who cares? Mangione, who cares? I want the Epstein list right now. And it's just like, oh no, we're just going to go to war with Iran. Just oops, we tripped, and now we're in war with Iran. Sorry, guys. And it's all just these things are just to keep you. Of course, there's reasons why they do these conflicts as well. There's physical reasons they do them too. I'm not saying it's all to get into your head. You're the main player. I'm just saying that it serves multiple purposes. And one of the purposes is to pacify the people one way or another. They'll either pacify them through violence, or they'll pacify you through mental violence, really, but coercion, mental coercion. And this is for people in the US, it's been mental coercion. Unless you count Pearl Harbor, I don't think a lot of people were at Pearl Harbor that day that could say that that was like a massive, crazy attack on the, or maybe even 9/11. It's like, if those are the two things that go down as our great attacks or assaults on our country, it's just like, all right, just go look at the Middle East, bro. It's just like holes. But anyway, yeah. What do you think about this whole going to war with Iran?
Yeah, I mean, it's just par for the course. I mean, it's like today, 222, order out of chaos. And yeah, the news, everything lately has just been, the mockery is that we're at an all-time high on every level. I mean, everything is just crazy right now. And, we're in such, it's just been, even the last few weeks for me too, it's just been so nuts, just so crazy, all the stuff going on. I mean, being sick for almost a month, and just, like I said, I just started feeling better really this week. Even the last couple of days have just been just like, wow. And there's so much going on even in my own life. And it's just, things are happening and changing so fast right now. It's ridiculous. I mean, just, where we were a month ago to where we are now, it's like night and day. It's like how quickly life and things are happening and changing. And, there's no saying where things are heading, but I mean, it all goes back to even the Economist cover that we pointed out too. Just, all the stuff on there. I mean, war and, AI and robots and the dollar and, just the way they're mocking us, setting all this up. I mean, they're doing it perfectly to a T. And, I mean, it's so hard to say, what's coming next. I mean, we talk about, things like, with the COVID and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if they're, I mean, I got sick. It's probably the longest I've ever been sick. I can't remember ever being like down like almost a whole month, but I don't know if time is sped up, and it's almost March, and it's crazy. And, it's crazy. I was on here. That was 3 weeks ago. That was the first day of February. And now we're already at the end of February. It's just unbelievable. And, yeah, now next week is March 1st already. It's the shortest month, but it just blew by, and it's the time is just, I mean, there's no saying where we're going to be. I mean, with them trying to, get rid of money and crash the dollar and stuff, and, where things are heading. And that's just the thing. I mean, everyone's kind of going through something right now too. I mean, everyone's kind of on edge. I know I've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks with me, and, even the last week or so, and it's just been just trying to, hold everything together. And it's just kind of, it's drastic measures. I mean, that's what it is. It's just drastic measures. And it's just, it's just trying to survive and do what you got to do. even a few days ago, stuff I've talked to you and I brought up to you about and stuff I've, been getting into and figuring stuff out. But, I'll get into probably more of that probably next week. Probably talk about that more because I'm still, new to it and I'm figuring it out and stuff and getting knowledge and trying to learn things. And there's a lot to it. And although it's, pretty simple and easy, but it's still, nothing's really all that easy. But uh, yeah, just trying to keep up with things, ways of making money and staying afloat. I know inflation's going up. It's crazy. Gas. Last time I was out here, I was doing this just a few weeks ago. It was like at like it was like 369 down at the Shell down there, and now it's like up to 425. It's just like, and the inflation's going up, the cost of living's going up. So you got, everyone's on kind of edge, and they're pushing people this way, they're pushing people that way, and it's just kind of it really is, with everything going on right now with the mockery ever being higher. I mean, that's the thing right now. I mean, it really is do or die. And that's what I've been having to go through the last couple of weeks, just realizing it, just like everything we've been talking about, all of this, everything we've been saying week after week, everything we've been doing. This is what it's been coming down to. I mean, we're in it right now. Like, this is like, it's just been like, it's been hitting me like knowing like this is it. Like this is the year. Like, you win or lose, you do or die. Like, this is it. Like, I mean, there's no way with the things we've been talking about, the mockery being as high as it's been, everything literally coming to be one. There's no way. I mean, whether, I succeed this year, I don't, or whether things go my way or not, I mean, stuff I'm working on, things I'm trying to accomplish, who knows where we're going to be, but there's no, I said this year, things would drastically change, and this would be, our last year, and things wouldn't, look the same anymore. And then that's definitely true. I mean, things are happening. We're about a month away from the real start of the new year, April. Once that hits, I mean, there's no saying, what's going to happen this next month. I mean, 31 days of March, you got the Ides of March in there. You got a lot of different things. March is always an interesting month.
History.
Yep. I mean, this is kind of it right now. We're kind of on that cusp, and yeah, it's amazing. Just sitting here, just I've just been thinking about the last couple of weeks too. Just like, it's just been hitting me like, it's like, this is it. Like, it's just, we're just full sending it. We're full sending it right now. This is like everything. This is the top of the line right here. This is as high as it can go. You can't outdo this, even though, we're building every week on the numbers, on the mockery, on the stories, but there's no way this has to come to a head at some point. Things are happening, and you never know how much time you really have. That's the thing too. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know how much time we have. I mean, I can sit here and I can say, oh yeah, what I'm starting, I'm going to, next, by a year from now, I'll be real successful. And I'm going to, be in great health and be stronger than ever at the end of the year. And I'm going to, do this in the gym, and I'm going to do, you can sit here and you can say all these things. You can talk about these things. They might happen, that might go that way, but it also, you just never know, and you never know what else it's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be a financial thing, if it's going to be a health thing, if it's, it's going to be maybe a car thing, or a insurance thing, or anything. It just, you just don't know. And it's just talking about, what is this all leading up to? I mean, the mockery is pinpointed right at us more than ever right now. I mean, everything is beaming down on us right now. It just, things that are, it's just being amplified on levels that have just never been seen. I mean, never before. I mean, a year ago, right now we're at mix, like we went last year to like times a million, times a billion, times a trillion. Like, last year was like nothing. Like, we thought the mockery was bad, then you thought it was bad. Look at where it is now. I mean, it's just absolutely astronomically just off the charts in every way. I mean, every week, every day, everything we talk about, the way we're lining things up, calling everything, just everything going on around us. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And, I don't know how much, everything we've been, looking at, where does it pivot? Where does it kind of, teeter this way or teeter that way? I don't know. I mean, right now I'm just going day to day, and, just holding on and trying to learn and figure things out, and just move through life. But yeah, obviously, you have goals, aspirations, but just there's just no saying where we're going to be, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And like I said, if war, if that does end up happening, with all the things with war and Iran, obviously, like I said, the inflation's what was up now, it's up 10%, they said, or whatever. And, all the prices going up, things get more expensive. I mean, it's just how far can you push people? How much can you bend? How flexible are you? I mean, uh, I know I wasn't kind of like the only person too. Like lately, it's kind of been sick too. I know there's people at the gym that have kind of been sick too. So, and like I said, I don't know if I got sick from out. I thought it was honestly out there running in the cold and stuff, and it could have been. I'm sure there was a start of it, but then, just maybe not getting sleep and just still trying to do too much and trying to work out and trying to push and just go too hard and
From what you
maybe not.
described, it sounded like an infection took took hold after like a particular illness, whether or not it was a flu or not. Because I've gotten E. coli before, and it started out as like pretty much a flu, and then it just like tripled down into this like insane illness thing. And it was kind of like what you were talking about. It almost made me want to talk, ask you if you ate something weird, um, or ingested something weird. But
No, but
either way, glad you're back.
the last few weeks have just been so strange. I know, like, uh, I did, I ran there like early, like, early January a couple times and late. And then and it was cold that week. It was cold. I think that's kind of where it started, or it got me sick off the running cold. I don't know if that was it. I just like that week I was, just kind of like a kind of regular cold. Like I wasn't, I fought through it. And then we had that episode too. And,
Yeah,
you said you got sick that week too, and you had a cold.
same
And
week.
I know it started for me like right after I did that run, like that Monday, Tuesday. And it was but I felt better. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was like, and then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I felt better. That was the thing. Like I knew I still had a cold. I still wasn't like where I wanted to be. I was still, I still had a cold, but I would thought it was kind of going away. I was feeling better. And then like, I told you that day I had to get up early the next day too. And I didn't get any sleep that night. I couldn't sleep. I had to get up early and I was just dead. And then I went to bed at like, I don't know. I was so tired that Monday, and I passed out at like, I want to say like 8. And then I passed up for like 11 hours, and I woke up the next day. I felt pretty good when I woke up the next day. Um, it's weird too. Like I had to go to Best Buy on that Monday, and it was weird. There was like something weird where I had to go in the store and then get something. And then it was kind of weird. I'm like, oh, is this what I needed? I'm like, oh, this is what I needed. Then I went back in to grab something else. Then it was like, it's kind of wrong. I'm like, oh, I had to run back in and like return it. Then uh, had to go back in again, and then I think
That's
get
just
something else or check. It was just there was a weird energy at the Best Buy. There was something weird there. This is where it kind of all started to like unfold weirdly, because there was something there on that day where I was going in, I was rushing real quick because I had to get something, and then like I said, I returned something. I went in like 3-4 times, and it was just like there was like this weird like anxiety type thing. I don't know what it was. It was just weird. And the next day we ended up going back to Best Buy because person I live with had to stop there for something, and then was uh I felt, like I said, I felt really good that Tuesday. And then it was like right when we were leaving there, and then like there was, I don't know if it was something with the day before, like this weird magic or something, or the sorcery, something like hit me, and I started to feel weird. I'm like, man, was it something I did that I eat? Like I started to feel like this sickness, something was coming on. I'm like, but I didn't know. I'm like, I thought I was feeling better. I'm like, what is this? So, I got home, and then, I kind of feel like I started to feel like a little, like I got, like I had like the chills or whatever. Like like kind of like I had a fever, and I'm kind of like, I put my heater on a little bit. I'm like, ooh, I don't know, just try and get through it. And the next, like that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like I couldn't sleep like any of those nights. Like it was just like, like sinuses and kind of somewhat like not really a high fever, but like a mild fever, kind of sinuses and stuff. Like Friday, I woke up that Friday, and I was trying to just push through it. And I wanted to just, that was the Super Bowl week, and I just wanted to get through it. I wanted to, go to the gym, go to the trampoline park, just be better. And I woke up that day, and I looked in the mirror, and that's when I like realized how bad I was. Because I woke up
The
and like,
ghost of Austin
yeah, like I
staring
looked in
back.
the mirror and my eyes were like just like piercing red, just like I was seeing red, man. It was nuts. It was like the brightest red eyes I have ever seen. Like I had like green stuff like running down my face and like down my eyes, and then it was like gluing like my eyes like closed, so, like I couldn't like open my eyes. So I was like, it was like someone was like putting super glue in my eyes and like taping my eyes, and I had to like.
That sounds like a sinus
But
infection on top of something.
yeah, and the more I tried to like fight it off, it made my eyes worse because then my eyes became chapped and sore. But I had to keep like doing that because I couldn't see. It was like someone's putting glue in your eyes. You're trying to fight it off, and then like it. But by fighting it off, you're like also making it worse. And my eyes were just like chapped. And like that was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like that was when I texted you that Saturday. I'm like, I'm in no. There's no way I'm good for a podcast. I literally can't even see. My eyes are just. I'm like dead. And then that Sunday, and then I thought I started to feel better that Sunday night, but I was getting a lot of like bloody noses and I was bleeding quite a bit. And then I woke up on Monday. And what woke me up is I woke up like a lot of times, like I'll catch when I start bleeding. Like if I get a bloody nose, like a lot of times I'll catch it right on the time, like right when it's happening. And that's what happened. Like I woke up and I just started catching my nose, like bleeding, but it got really, really bad. It was so weird too, because like we were having problems with our door too that week. Like our door literally broke and I literally could not get in or out. So we were like stuck inside, and it was like, God, why is this happening now? It's like making everything worse. And like, then I'm bleeding all over. And like, I lost so much blood. Like it was ridiculous. Like I used to have a lot of problems with nosebleeds, like get hit in the nose. And so I had my nose electrically cauterized once, back when I was like 18. Back when, yeah, I was like 18. It was like 2013. I had to get my nose electrically cauterized because I couldn't stop bleeding. I was bleeding out so bad. Well, I thought it was like that Monday. I woke up and like I literally would throw like big, like giant tissues in my nose, and they would just fill up with blood in seconds. Like 4 of them did that. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna like bleed out. No. And I literally was like starting to get dizzy. I'm like, this is not good. But somehow, like the week it got, it was like getting better. But yeah, it took me a while to get through it that week, and then but I was still like, it was weird because I was still like sick. Like I told you, like even last week I wasn't like, I was still having bloody noses, and like even my throat was still sore. Like I couldn't even talk and stuff, and everything was still going on. And like it was crazy because I almost gotten like multiple like accidents too. There's been like like where we go to the food bank. There's been twice in the last month at a 4-way stop where someone has literally came from the same direction and blown the stop sign. Last time I seen them coming. This time they literally almost took me out, but I wasn't. I was sick and I wasn't really. I probably shouldn't have been driving around anyways, and had almost gotten a wreck. And then it was weird too. Like I almost got in a wreck, like leaving the gym not long after that. And then I was driving somewhere else, and someone else, I think they were about to like take me out through a stop sign. It was crazy. It was just a crazy week, and that's I couldn't figure out like. And then like Saturday, because I felt like decent on Friday. Like Saturday, I still felt like awful. I woke up. I didn't do nothing last Saturday, Sunday. I still just laid there. I'm like, gosh, what is going on? Like, when am I ever down like this? Like, I was better, but still, I was, even this week, like my throat was still like sore and till like Thursday. Like my throat didn't even get better till like Thursday. And like Friday, even like Friday, I was still like choking and like gagging and coughing. Even like yesterday a little bit. Like today's like the first day. Yesterday and today are like the first. Yeah, today I sound a lot better today.
There's
like
a little
Friday,
nasal there, but like other than that, you seem right back to what I
yeah.
used to.
Yeah, my throat started to get better like Thursday. It stopped hurting. Like it was still hurting like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday it stopped hurting, and then like Friday it was still. Thursday and Friday was still like I was still like kind of like coughing and choking, and I still had like stuff in the back of my throat, and I had to like keep. I was still like I couldn't even. I had to keep drinking water, and it's just even Friday night, and then yesterday it felt like it got a lot better, where I wasn't having that problem. And then today it was kind of. It seems like yesterday and today, like the mucus and like the dripping and stuff's kind of gone. So. Like I kind of have my voice. I can kind of talk. Even like 2 days ago, like Friday, I would have lost my voice. Like even 2 days ago, Friday, I had a voice for like 10 minutes, and it was like gone. It was like just I couldn't
I've
run
been
about.
sick like that one time, and it was only a cold, but it was like a really bad like sore throat cold, and it was the worst one I ever had. And yeah, I know what you're talking about, where your vocal cords just like don't even connect, and it's just that rasp. That's all I had was rasp. It was crazy. I thought I lost my voice. Like it felt like I'm like, how am I gonna get my voice back? I can't talk. I literally cannot talk. It's not working when I try. I felt like I was dumb, like the literal definition. But I will say that I hope we did you proud. Of course, King Richard was able to co-host with me both episodes without you, and we also had Sebastian on both episodes. But yeah,
Yeah,
speaking
I
of,
did end up rewatching those too. I was the one I was rewatching while I was bleeding out there in the morning, and then I had the one last week that I watched too. Yeah, those were
we
great
didn't
episodes.
pause that.
Yeah,
But
those were
yes,
great episodes with
speaking
King
of,
and Sebastian. They did a great job filling in, and yeah, that was great to listen to that. It was nice to uh, see other people on here too, just besides myself and other people carrying on the show. So that was kind of the goal at the beginning of this too, is kind of build something, have other people carry it on, because you never know when you're gonna die or get sick, or you never know if something happens. I almost gotten accidents. I was already sick and injured and bleeding out, and then could have gotten a wreck and multiple wrecks. So it's just, you never know what life's gonna throw at you, just how things have been going. And um even a few like I said, a few nights ago, Thursday, I finally started that thing like I was talking to you about before. um Even Thursday night, I was still like, my throat with all the like the dripping and stuff was like, it wasn't my throat didn't hurt anymore, but it was still like, it was like just bleh, just, and I just like was losing my voice. And um yeah, I'm glad that's gotten better the last couple of days, and it seems like it's finally like leaving and gone out of my system now for like 4 weeks to a month. But um yeah, I'll probably get more into that next episode as I learn more about it and what I'm doing, and how it all works and stuff. And it's kind of it's way better than the Live Good thing I have in the link, because I know no one's ever signed up for that or did it, so I've kind of given up on that anyways. I mean, I don't see that ever turning out. But this is something that actually there's people I know that I'm getting involved in, and I know Saturday I'm trying to get to something as well. And I know people are around me are making good money with it, so I figured I'd hop in. If like they said, if they can do it, I can do it. So I don't see why not. I mean, that I have nothing to lose at this point, because it's like I'm at the point where my back's against the wall, the walls are closing in, the mockery's at an all-time high. So
oh shit, dude. Hey, what's up, Rich?
Yo, what's up? What happened with
I was
Austin?
just I was just about to get you in,
Yeah.
and right as he says the mockery's at an all-time high, he cuts
Oh
out,
shit.
bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah. No
There we
joke,
go.
man. But hey,
Hey,
I feel your pain, man. It's been an interesting 2 weeks. Right now I still feel kind of odd. I don't really feel. I've been unemployed for about 2 weeks, so I kind of just feel weird. And not gonna lie, I've been kind of just out of it. It's like, what am I even really doing with life? But I can't have that mindset. I used to have that mindset when I was younger, and I was like, what am I doing on this earth? But I just had to get out of that mindset, man. Just because I lost this gig doesn't mean that there's nothing for me in the future. But yeah, man, I understand. I know Austin's been under the weather. I recently fractured my ankle. Uh, Dumb mistake on my part. I went out there and tried to play basketball with a couple of kids, and playing pickup ball, and I tried to dunk on this one guy, and I came down pretty fast, and I landed on my foot wrong, and man, it hurt like a bitch. It was like that for about a week. But yeah, man, it's critical, man. It's critical.
see, I was telling Austin about I'm sure you heard, but yeah, he said
Yeah,
we
he
were
was
up
under
to
the weather.
snuff with our episodes, so
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
good to
yeah,
hear.
yeah. That's cool. I
We are
appreciate
big
that.
fan.
And yeah, man, I just like even even decoding, like I know you guys know this. I haven't really been going live, and it's because my ankle was hurting me. I was just in pain. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Like, man, I'm not gonna sit here and wing it and just be in pain. And I know I'm in pain. I just can't do it. So that's why I didn't really go live for a couple of days. Probably for about 4 or 5 days I didn't go live. But yeah, and then I want to talk about these jobs, because I mean these fucking jobs, like the fact that maybe people have woken up to it, but I think people they're so cookie cutter when it comes to these jobs. Like, people don't realize like anybody out there who's worked through a union, even if you work through a union, here's everything you guys got to understand about that. It's great to go through a union, and it's always great to have that kind of backing. But then again, you got to realize these unions can get you out of there too if they don't like what you're doing. If you're taking too many days off and they see you as a liability, they'll just cut you off. You know what I mean? So it's no different from working with a non-union job or with a union job backing. You know what I mean? These people
It's
can
almost
get
kind of like
pretty.
a scam of insurance, you know. It's
Oh
just
yeah, yeah,
very
man.
similar,
It's a
actually.
scam. It's one big scam, and um, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the union. It's nice to have that backing and whatnot, but uh, are they really going to back you when stuff gets critical? Case in point, what pissed me off, guys, is I did everything I was supposed to. I talked to HR. I let them know. I put myself out there for them, and the fact that they just kind of spit in my face, I was like, so I went all this way for you to just spit in my face and say, hey, yeah, you're out of here, bye. You know what I mean? That right there just pissed me off, and because I've never worked with the union before, so even just with this and again this kind of experience, you kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, wow, even these unionized jobs are doing that too. But yeah, and that's a whole nother story too, man. Just how they did it, how they went about it. You know what I mean? And they didn't even handle it professionally. If they would have handled it in a professional manner, I would have been more than obliged to be like, okay, maybe I was being a little bit too, maybe just not doing what I was supposed to. But I mean, it's not like I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything I was supposed to do. So, but yeah, I feel it. I definitely feel it. And I feel like there was a sign there for me. I know Austin was talking about, he went to Best Buy and he got like a sign and whatnot. That's what happened to me when I first started this job, because the first day I was about to, I think it was the first day I was going to do my interview. I had gotten pulled over by a cop, and it was very rare that I've never gotten pulled over like that in a long time. But I got pulled over by a CHP, California Highway Patrol. Supposedly, he was just out there, and I didn't even know what he was. He was just right there waiting, and he pulled me over. He got behind me, and he pulled me over for not wearing a seatbelt. And I'm like, I've never gotten pulled over for no shit like that. So when it happened, I'm like, okay, I'm going to this new job. Now I'm getting this. Is this kind of a sign that maybe I shouldn't be taking this? But I brushed it off and I went off anyway. And then 2 weeks later, I'm getting let go for pretty petty dumb shit, honestly. So maybe I should have took that as maybe of a sign. You know what I mean?
It makes you. Did you put your seatbelt on after you got pulled over?
No, I didn't put it
Oh,
on
okay.
at all. I don't see the point in doing it. Hey, this is what pissed me off about this cop, right?
That's a
This cop,
debated thing for
this
sure.
cop was this cop was so fucking stupid. Like he literally came up to me in my window. He's like, I'm like, what's your reason for pulling me over, dude? He's like, oh, because you didn't have a seatbelt on, you're killing other people. It's like, dude, how am I killing other people? I'm like, you know how dumb you sound. If I was killing other people, that I can see if I was drunk driving. Then I can understand. Okay, yeah, I'm putting people's lives at danger, but dude, I'm not wearing a fucking seatbelt. The only person I'm going to hurt in this car is myself. It's only me in this
Exactly.
car. If I fucking fly out of this car, it's going to be me that gets hurt and not anybody else.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
exactly
felt
what I was
pretty
saying.
stupid. He felt pretty stupid. And he kind of, I made him shut up and eat his own fucking words. But yeah, I mean, some of these cops are just fucking stupid. And then, he pissed me off so fucking bad, just kept being annoying and asking the same stupid ass shit. I just, I was like, hey, are you a Mason? As soon as I pulled that out on him, and I wish I would have recorded this, but I was like, I'm like, hey, buddy, are you a Mason? Do you know about the Fraternal Order of Police? Like, I don't want to talk about politics. I'm like, we're not talking about politics. I'm like, are you a Mason or not? And
Yeah, because Masons are constantly brought up in politics. Like,
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
Talk
was
about
like, when he
Masonic
said
shit.
politics, I was like, hold on, wait a minute, well, politics? I'm like, we're not talking about politics here, sir. I'm asking you a question, and you don't have to answer me or not. But are you a fraternal? Are you part of the Fraternal Order of Police? And as soon as I said that, his eyes got wide, and he just kind of like, have a good day. You know what I mean? So, uh, he probably was part of some kind of fraternal organization. Thinking about it now.
Well, what that was yeah, you might not have had your seatbelt on, but he was
Right.
looking for a smell or
Yeah,
an
he was
off
probably looking
reaction
for
from
some kind of
you.
yeah. He probably wanted a reaction. He probably thought, "Oh, this kid probably smoked some marijuana. Let me see if I can get some." And that's pretty stupid too, just because like, well, marijuana is legal here in California. So, what are you trying to do, buddy? I mean, are you
I
trying to
think
waste my time
federally
here?
still you can't have it in your system while driving though.
Right. Yeah, it's considered a DUI, if
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, if you're driving under the influence, yeah, it's considered a DUI. But, yeah, I mean, this guy, I mean, he's just oh, your seatbelt. It's like, dude. A fucking seatbelt? Are you fucking serious? And I even told him, like, dude, I'm like, are you fucking serious? A seatbelt, really? I'm like, I thought maybe my taillight might have been out, but it's like, dude, come on, man, fucking seatbelt.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
back in the day, seatbelts used to be only around the waist. It's like when I was a kid, I grew up I had a car. We didn't have shoulder belts.
Yeah, the older cars used to have the you just put it around your
lap
lap.
belts.
Put it around your, yeah. They just had the one belt. But yeah, now things have changed. And here's the thing about seatbelts too. I mean, let's be honest, seatbelts don't really protect you from anything. If you get into like a bad accident, that seatbelt has actually done more harm to you than actually trying to protect you. If you're trying to get out, if you're trying to escape the crash, like let's say you get into a bad accident, let's say you get into a bad car wreck, and you have a seatbelt on, and you're trying to get out. Obviously you're going to be panicking. Your body's going to go into flight or flight mode. You're going to try to get out of that car, but let's say the seatbelt doesn't want to come out. So you're trying to get and maneuver this fucking seatbelt because these people want you to wear a seatbelt because it's for your safety. Give me a break.
I'd say it's like, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'll just, for the, just devil's advocate, even I'll say it's 50-50. It's like, could help you or hurt you. So it's just like, there should be a debate about it. It shouldn't be like a cemented law. It should be like anything else. If you want to wear it, you should. Obviously, if it's considered a safe thing, your kids should too. But
Logan, I told him the same thing. I told I'm all, dude. Honestly, dude, I'm gonna say this. All you're really doing out here is just being a road pirate. Is one. You're being a tyrant. That's two. Another thing, too. Three. You're out here basically infringing on shit that you're basically infringing a man's law. You're basically coming up to people and be like, yeah, this is the law because a group of men wrote it. So now I'm gonna infringe that on you. It's like, come on, man.
It's like the hallway monitors.
Yeah,
in school. It's just like, bro, why do you got the mindset of a hallway monitor?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you brought up a good point. Man's law. Like, I think you mean it like as in like we all know like what things should be, and we all know that we just have these codes that we mostly adhere to, but we don't really need to, and we shouldn't need to. But we just kind of do.
Here's something we should be going by: natural law and the golden rule. That's the only thing we should be going by.
Agreed.
All these other laws, we don't need 50,000 laws, 100,000 laws for just little
50,000. I wish it was that few.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. It's probably a couple million.
Oh yeah.
I probably haven't hit the ballpark yet. But I mean, seriously, man, like, do we come on, guys? Do we need any of these fucking laws on the book? Do we really even need any of these fucking laws on the books? No, we don't. That's a yes or no question. No.
You know what? What's funny is the laws actually I would say more often than not protect the assailant or whatever.
Yeah,
they protect the bad guys
out there. Yeah,
the criminal. There you go.
Yeah, because here's the thing too about laws. Think about gun laws. Your average American out there who's like a law abiding citizen, right? Whatever that means. But
nerd.
Your average law abiding citizen is, they're gonna go to the own a gun, right? They're gonna go to the proper channels, right? You're gonna have to wait a bit, but they're gonna go through the proper channels, do all the steps they need to do, right? You think a criminal out there now? Let's say this: a criminal. When I mean somebody that's like gonna try to go in your house, kill you, try to harm you, your family, or try to rob your house and shit. Do you think they're gonna go to those proper channels? I'm gonna tell you something. No, they will not.
And I'll tell you something else. We shouldn't have to either, for the exact same reason, because it doesn't come down to proper channels or IDs or serial numbers. It comes down to whether or not you want to kill an innocent person or not. And those people are going to do.
You should have the right. Here's how I see it. You should have the right to defend yourself. You should have all the right to defend yourself. If some asshole is trying to come in your house and kill you and your family and try to hurt you and your loved ones, I feel like you have the right to, kill their ass. I feel the right. You have the right to do so. It shouldn't be decided by the government or some group of men be like, well, because we and then they always use these Logan, Austin. They always use these fucking mass shootings. These mass shootings. Most of those fucking shootings. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if I can say this on your channel, but most of those fucking stories are HOAXs. Okay.
Yeah.
99%. I'm gonna go on a limb and say 99% of them are HOAXs.
I think
proof that anything happened.
I think they're one of the main reasons for them is to inspire real events and to actually get people to go out there and copycat something that never happened,
The
which is kind
Zodiac
of
Killer
like
is one of them.
exactly
The Zodiac Killer was one of them. I mean, that was over here in California too. That happened, and it inspired a copycat version of it. But yeah, I mean, you
I
got a lot of
remember the
people that want to
movie.
imitate.
That movie was with the guy from was Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one, but yeah, I mean, come on, dude. They make movies about Frank Lucas and Training Day. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, like they basically put it out there to find out there, like, yeah, see, you could be like Frank Lucas. You know what I mean? It's just like shit like that. It's like, dude, that's what I feel like these shooters are too. They're not only are the HOAXs have infringements on our rights, but they give people like there's probably people out there probably like, man, I want to be like that. I want to be just like that. Here's another thing people don't ask questions about these shooters, right? These supposed young shooters. Some of these shooters are about 15, 16, 17. Bro, these kids, some of these kids, right? These supposed kids, right? These are supposed shooters, right? You got to ask yourself, how the fuck are they getting their hands on expensive ass weapons?
Right.
How are they getting their like for instance, the Uvalde shooter, what was he, 16, 17 years old? Got his hands on all this weaponry and shit. You're gonna tell me this fucking little kid who supposedly they said he worked at Wendy's? Come on, dude. You're gonna be working at Wendy's flipping burgers, making minimum wage. No fucking minimum wage person is gonna have money to go buy all kinds of assault weapons like that. Come on, man.
Weapons and then the ammo. Like, bro, get out of here.
Exactly, because it costs. Okay, it costs to buy that type of weaponry. Even if you try to get your hands on that weaponry, it's gonna cost you. You're not going to be able to be working at Wendy's or McDonald's, flipping burgers and be able to afford all that type of stuff. You're just not. It's not realistic. And then you bring that up to people and they're like, "What are you, some kind of conspiracy theorist? Because you're." I'm all, dude. It should be obvious it's the FBI and CIA doing this shit.
The
And more likely
convoluted
the
stories
FBI.
with a lot of these shootings, where it's like, oh, I was just delivering a backpack because I was told to meet somebody there and put it in a bush, and so I did it. And then I didn't know there was a gun in there, and there was like, it's just, bro. And then
Logan, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, what? It doesn't even make any sense.
And now recently, did you hear about the whole Mar-a-Lago shooting?
Yeah, the same day that Team USA advanced to was it gold over Canada?
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was today. Yeah, it was today. The same day Team USA got the gold.
Did you
46 years to the day. 46 years to the day of the. I can't think of it right now, but I can't think of it right now. But it was 46 years to the day of something that happened in 1980. But yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Did you catch the shooters or the potential shooters name?
No,
he's 21 years old.
I didn't even have
His
that.
name's Austin.
Oh my god!
21-year-old Austin.
Today's Sunday, and Austin equals Jesuit and Sunday, and pretty much all ciphers. So here we are on Sunday with a shooter named Austin. Come on, man! I mean, this shit is a joke, man. Just like when the whole Trump hoax happened. I don't want to say I don't even want to say the word because I know if I say it on here, YouTube might take down the video. But every time one of these HOAXs happen, it's just like, you guys remember Thomas Matthew Crooks? I mean, what kind of fucking name is that? Thomas Matthew Crooks? Are you fucking serious? Well, here's how I thought about it. I'm like, Thomas Matthew Crooks shooting the crook? Are you fucking serious? And supposedly that guy was in a BlackRock ad.
Oh yeah, no, not supposedly he was, and
one
of these like community extension BlackRock making communities better, and it just has him. Think about he was like a star in it.
Think about what kind of a company BlackRock is, coming up and buying everybody's home.
Yep, that's not all they do. They buy up all the street corners too.
That's one thing they do.
That's the thing that you see. That's like kind of the visible face of BlackRock. Well,
now you have
everything else they do is
what's that other company too? Palantir.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Taking over everything. It's a big monopoly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, I didn't even catch. Did they have a name of the shooter supposedly for? You said Austin, right? But what was his full name? I got to check that out.
Austin Tucker, like Carlson
Tucker, yeah.
Like Tucker Carlson. Wow. Yeah, and people don't even get the joke with that too. And think about a guy like Tucker. What's his name? Tucker Carlson. I always call him Carl Tuckerson for whatever reason. But that guy used to be on CNN. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that. But yeah, before he went on Fox News, Tucker Carlson used to be on CNN. Think about how much of a joke that is too. He used to be.
What's interesting is CNN used to be like more like moderate conservative too. Good luck telling anyone about that now.
Yep.
Real quick,
They're all
Austin,
parody.
guess what his name equals? 45.
Oh wow.
There it is.
Yep, there it is. And don't forget, Trump was number 45 at one time.
The NASCAR driver doubled up. So the same one that won last week for Michael Jordan, he won again this week in the 45 car.
And Air Jordan equals 45. And when he's playing baseball, 45.
That's right. That's one I keep missing. Is
Major
branding,
League.
which is the
Major
brand
League.
on his cars too. Oh, I do forget about that. Good
Major
shit.
League 40.
And he's 63, and
45,
it equals 63.
63
Born in 63, he's 63 years old.
Well, 63 is also the 44th composite. Are we talking about the shooting or?
No, Air Jordan equals 63, and Michael Jordan, he's just turned 63, and born in 63.
Yeah, and don't forget who died on his birthday. Was it Jesse Jackson? And then, how mockery that shit was? It was Jesse Jackson that day, and then the next day on Martin Luther's death anniversary, not birthday. His death anniversary had the death of Jacksonville rapper Lil Papa, who died.
Yeah, Austin mentioned that at the start.
Yeah, and the guy's name literally equals. I mean, come on, guys. His name literally fucking equals 90. Lil Papa equals 97, like Notorious. So when you think about Papa, you think about Big Papa, who's Biggie, who got killed in 97, and he has a song where he's talking about, Biggie died at 24 and Tupac died at 25, and he's nervous because he's gonna turn the same age, and just literally a year after that, he turns 25 and just dies, supposedly from suicide. I mean, come on, guys.
And his real name equals 97 also.
Yeah, with the weird spelling. Janarius Michael Wheeler with the weird. I've never seen a guy with the name Michael spelled the way he spells it. He spells it Mykel. What Michael do you know spells their name that way? Come on, dude. You can tell these people are born and bred for these fucking whatever it is, rapper, singer, artist. You can tell people were just born and bred.
But Rich, I'm getting like tingles up my spine. This is crazy because Austin was coming at this from a completely different angle that I think you missed that part of it because we're covering all the NASCAR stuff. Yeah. And dude, just everything you just said there connects inexplicably with what he was talking about. 100%.
Yeah.
Down to his middle name being Michael. I didn't know that. Like,
his name Michael, yeah.
And Wheeler is his last name. We're literally connecting this to a NASCAR race, bro. And his last name's Wheeler.
That rapper was from Florida. Today you're getting the shooting in where's it at? Florida. Yeah, and
damn.
Who was the game winner for the? He was from Florida. He's from Orlando, Florida, not too far from where the Mar-a-Lago thing's at. So, and he's winning gold. Like Mar-a-Lago has a lot to do with gold, and Trump, the gold orange goon. Come on, man. This stuff's a fucking joke. Is what he calls it. What is it called? The golden era, golden age.
Yep.
It's just total jokes, man. And then it's kind of pathetic how you put it together like that, or how we put it together like that, and then I'm just gonna say what it is. These fucking retards. I'm sorry. The whole New Year thing with me is like try to be less mean to people, but it's kind of hard because people are just so fucking stupid. You try to talk to them about this shit, and they're just like right away their mind just goes from like listening to you to all of a sudden just tuning it out and being like, I think you're just some kind of weirdo. I think you need your medication, buddy. It's like, I need my medication. Come on. This shit is elementary. This shit is the mockery. The mockery is just, oh my God. I know I'm going off topic here, but I mean,
hey, God, you know what's interesting is on your website, it actually like in order kind of covers what I had lined up. Of course, we were going to start with the whole Iran war, not to get into maybe the details of it, but really just talking about like the mockery of it and
did you see who's also dead today? Did you see who's also dead today? The supposed speaking of war, did you see the what's his name? El Mencho? He's dead today.
Oh yeah. That was on the docket. After we talked about Iran, I wanted to talk about El Mencho.
El Mencho, yeah. Remember El Chapo? El Chapo, now you get El Mencho. I mean, this shit is a joke. Pablo Escobar, of course, but yeah, El Mencho dead today. And again, guys, did I do a video? I don't even think I did a post. I think I did a video where I said, "Hey guys, watch out for February 22nd." In light of the whole Maduro thing, we're talking about drugs in Venezuela. What happens today? It's not Venezuela that gets targeted, but it's Mexico. Come on, man. This stuff is such a joke. Superior General equals 222. Today's the 103rd day of the Superior General's age. The man gets killed in a location that's on the 103rd meridian west. He's in the cartel. Cartel equals 103, like Jesuits. Come on. That's and then they're saying that they're also saying that this killing is going to cause chaos, right? And he's 59 years old, right?
Yeah.
Cartel equals 59. He's 59 years old. But yeah, they're saying this is gonna cause chaos. Of course, order out of chaos equals 222.
75 with the chaos and stuff too.
Yep. 70 order 75, order out of chaos. But you know what I mean? 33. His name's 33. The Mexican American War ended on 2-2. That's the 33rd day of the year. Mexico 33. Just all
They
kinds
love
of stuff.
adding Mexico into the 33s in Mexico are all the time. Whenever you get a Mexico story, obviously you have the Mexico part, but it's always like
order out of
stamped
chaos
with
also
33.
75. Yeah, order out of chaos is 75 as well. Just talking about Mencho. That's how you say his name. 75. I mean, you also got a story today where I think it was Zoran Mamdani. He said that he's gonna issue a travel ban because of the blizzard that happened there, and they said 75,000 planes are not going to be able to. They're canceling their flight today and tomorrow. 75,000. Order out of chaos 75 and 222. Here we are on 222. Don't forget the biggest mocker of that. He's born on the anniversary of event 201. The coronavirus pandemic simulation. Wuhan coronavirus 222. New York equals 222. From 9/11. Think about all the jokes they've been doing with Mom Donnie and 9/11. From 9/11 to the coronavirus pandemic declaration was 222 months. Come on, guys. This stuff is clever and well thought out. Today's 127 days after Mom Donnie's birthday. Bavarian Illuminati 127. But also you think about 9/11. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell compared to December 7th, Pearl Harbor
I was just
Day.
gonna say Pearl Harbor Day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the other funny thing about this thing is just we've been making
days. Today's 102 days after the Superior General's birthday. Art of War 102. 9/11 lasted 102 minutes. Simulated 102 days beforehand on June 1st. Operation Amalgam Virgo, where your federal government happened to simulate 9/11, and they had Osama bin Laden.
Osama's bin Laden on the cover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's one of our earliest videos. We talked about that.
Obama, Osama.
There's a reason they did that, of course.
Mm-hmm. Barack Obama, 68. You guys already know 68. Infamous year.
One thing we've been talking about, mainly because they used Washington as kind of like a test ground, or not a test ground. It's been a term previously, but in recent news, the last bomb cyclone to hit in America was
they were referring
the West Coast.
Referring to that as well. The Mom Donnie as a bomb. By the way,
blizzard bomb, Austin. That's what they called it.
Today's the 53rd day of the year. Bomb cyclones 53. Like Ordo Ab Chow. Again, this is Order Out of Chaos right here. Ordo Ab Chow 53. Like look at Bomb Cyclone and Ordo Ab Chow. Just type it in there. Overlap in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. Look at that. 46, 188, 53. Mm-hmm. Today's the 53rd day of the year. But here, go back to that post you had up there, that one that said Mom Donnie with 26 on it. I mean, come on, 26 inches, and here we are in 2026. The word chaos is 26.
Yep.
Like I said, this stuff
54 million people affected.
Jesuit order 54. Don't forget what they did to Mom Donnie. Man, they put him in there 54 weeks after he announced he was going to run for mayor. And don't forget Osama bin Laden, speaking about all the terrorists and stuff like that. Terrorism 54, Osama bin Laden killing his 54th day of being 54 years old. And who's doing it? Who run it? Cable 54. The Jesuit order.
I look at this crack squad. Jesus Christ.
Total joke. It's just like Cash Patel. What is he?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Cash
People,
Patel.
And this is like Cash Patel's another great point. Is just like when they instituted him as the head of the FBI.
Yeah.
People were like, yeah, all the conservatives like, yeah, this is our guy. Just like they rode Vivek's deck initially too.
Oh my God. They
rode get him out of there.
Yeah,
send him back to India.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's just this shit's for dummies, man. This shit is for dummies because people you have these conservative, sucking the skin off Cash Patel. Yet they have somebody over here in New York, about the same descent, right? I mean, and they have him. They have this guy as like a boogeyman. Oh yeah, fuck Mom Donnie, but oh yeah, I'm gonna suck off Cash Patel. It's like, yeah, you guys don't see the jokes here with this. You guys don't see the jokes here with this shit. This stuff is ultimate mockery, is what it is. And don't forget, Cash Patel was a part of that whole Charlie Kirk HOAX.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the whole lead up to it too.
Yep.
He had spoken about how it was. Did he refer to it as a cult, or he had some like negative comments about what happens when Charlie Kirk speaks. Anyway,
I know he said something about Valhalla.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying he didn't like Charlie Kirk, but he said something about like. I could try to find it, but
he's you know what, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go on and say this. He's probably one of Charlie Kirk's handlers. I'm not gonna lie to you. He probably is one of Charlie Kirk's. Yeah. And don't forget, it happened when he was 45 years old. I believe he's gonna turn 46 on the 56th day of the year. So he's still 45. But yeah, I think it was 197 days after his birthday, the Charlie Kirk thing, and Utah's the 45th state in order to statehood. Of course, Trump was number 45. Yeah.
I was reading look at this. I mean, the people that we put on pedestals.
I mean, that guy, I'm sorry, but that guy looks like he just ate a whole thing of fucking meth cornflakes. I'm sorry. I mean, the way he fucking looks is just so creepy. Like every time he does a press conference, it just looks fucking creepy. Like he's been up for a couple of days.
Oh yeah, his piercing glare.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is too. What was it? Yeah. This is the Fox story, but if you read the CNN story, what's really interesting about it,
they haven't put the victim's name out there, have they? I see the name of the shooter, but they haven't put the.
Well, he wasn't a shooter. He never shot anybody. He just walked in with a gun and a gas can, and
they were referring to him as an armed man. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the evidence, bro? Are you blind? Are you dumb? You don't see this right here? Look at this crime scene.
Oh my God. Looks totally contrived.
Looks like Kurt Cobain.
Put that crime. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
I meant to bring this up to you, Austin, because this definitely rang a bell to me with the whole Kurt Cobain not Austin, but the Kurt Cobain shotgun scenario that they took pictures of. Dude, I immediately thought about that. Good shit,
that was recently in the news too, right after Seattle won the Super Bowl. Yep.
Absolutely. We've been talking about it, and I have it up right here again. But yeah, absolutely. Kurt Cobain's been in the news. Kurt Busch just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. You had Kurt Russell drive the pace car.
Kurt Busch, huh?
Yeah.
And he's 47 years old, and Kurt Russell's 74. And
oh my God, yeah. Wait, how old? He's 47, huh? He's 40. Well,
and Kurt Cobain. Yeah, Kurt Cobain just turned 59 in his 60th year of life for Super Bowl 60. I mean,
yeah, the word kills 59. Yep.
Yeah, Austin's been all over this one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Austin's been on this shit, and that's what I was saying earlier. I was all like, for anybody that was like teetering on what me and Austin have been talking about since early on, since we started this whole podcast, we've talked about Cobain pretty in depth, and he's been saying they're 26. Going to reignite this whole Cobain thing next year, heavy
26
and
Cobain,
January.
26.
Yep, exactly, and boom, January it gets brought up that they're potentially reopening it as a homicide. It's just like anybody who was like thinking he was like off his rocker then, it's just probably just like sitting there in a
probably eating their words now. Tears. I mean, you get like that's what I do with these sheep. When these sheep always talk shit, because you know how these sheep are. They like to talk shit. Oh, you can only just say hindsight. Look, man, go back and watch my my New Year's Eve stream. I literally said, I think it was like 40 minutes into that stream, I said, watch out for many. I remember, I know Austin was there when I circled. I think I circled about 5 states that have the 38 connection. I think it was Florida, Minneapolis. It was or Minnesota. My bad. Minnesota, Oregon, and it was a couple. Man, there was another one in there. Colorado.
Well, you're right with Oregon and Minnesota. So
and Florida, because I mean now we have a shooting in Florida. So That's 3 out
Yeah,
of
what were the other ones? We should look out.
Yeah,
Gotta be
yeah.
looking at these
I
other
told
ones.
people to look out. I said, look out. And you know what's crazy, right? As I put that out there on New Year's, I said, hey, is this going to be a repeat of last year? And what was it? A week later, it was the Renee Good killing. Her name equals 38. It was 38 days after Chrissy Noem's birthday. Called her domestic terrorist, which equals 110, like Minnesota. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is mockery. And what do you get? 17 days later, you get a shooting of Alex. Pretty good, huh? And that looked like a whole hoax too. I mean, it didn't even make any sense. Just like the Renee Good thing, it didn't make any sense. Got like 3 angles of nothing really happening going on.
And a lot of what I think this has to do with these whole like everyone has body cams on in law enforcement all the
Yep.
time, but like they never have the angle and like
See, the problem with that
CCTV
is they can always
and
redact it. That's see, people always want to trust the body cam, but it's like people don't realize they
give
can
you
always
the
go back
angle
and
of one of the
redact it.
officers that was like sitting in his car when it happened. So
Yeah, it's just like one of
meanwhile,
these,
there was
like
like 3
stupid,
guys looking right at it.
It's just like with these fucking Epstein files. People are like, "Oh, the Epstein files." Like, most of that shit is redacted. You guys don't understand that most of that shit. Not you guys. I'm saying like the sheep out there. They think there's some kind of like big thing. It's like, dude, we've been talking about this shit for a long time. Now, it didn't just happen with the whole Epstein thing.
And Epstein is really kind of like
he's an
obviously
agent.
it's a scapegoat.
Yeah, he's a scapegoat and a man of mystery. Nobody even.
Yeah, good
They
luck. It's a
recently put out
rabbit
an
hole.
interview about. They
Is what it
recently put out
is.
an interview with him with Jesuit Steve Bannon, and he did it on January 31st. Steve Bannon equals 131 and 58, like Epstein files. Like he died 58 days after Trump's birthday and 271 days after the Superior General's birthday, the 58th prime number. I mean, this stuff. This stuff is it's a joke, man. It's a joke, and it's just more infuriating that people that there's a lot of people that claim to be truthers and shit like that, and they don't want to take to this work, but they'll just speculate on other shit. You know what I mean? That's the sad part.
Yeah, and I was talking to Logan about it earlier tonight. When I first got on here and I was going through all this stuff. I mean, I mean, what we covered everything when I got on here, just going through all of this, laying all the connections.
Laying the groundwork. Yep.
And you're not going to get anyone else that even mentions anything at all. Like, oh, it's funny, Kurt Busch is, he had 23 years in the Cup Series, and on January 23rd, 23 days for 2,500, he goes in the Hall of Fame. Like, you're not going to have anything that I talked about here tonight, and everything that we've been talking about every single week. You watch these other channels and
that's
NASCAR channels or
by the
anyone
way,
else.
Austin, that's Georgetown's birthday, by the way.
January 23rd.
So, yep.
Georgetown University, the first Jesuit university in DC.
Yep. Yeah. And everything we've been talking about, we've been saying, we've been covering on here tonight, and then the last, just forever on here. You're not going to get any other channels that talk about or mention any of the connections or any things we talk about. They're just going to, they're going to stick to everything
They'll look
like it's
past it.
real, or like the things that we talk about, like, well, maybe there's something here or there, but it's like the mockery at this point right now has never, ever been at the level it's been. Especially, I was saying how it's all pinpointed at us right now. Like a year ago, the mockery was like at 1%. Now it's at 100. It went from like 0 to 100 just like that. Like everything right now is just pinpoint, focus, precision. Everything's happening right now. Everything's Washington State and this and that, and it's just never been higher. I mean, there's no one else in the world that's connecting the dots like we are.
Kurt Busch is also born on what's his name's birthday? Obama's birthday. He got to Obama's birthday, and I know he spells
Bush and Obama. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he spells Bush differently, but whenever I think about Bush, I think about George W. Bush. George W. Bush and what's his dad's name? H.W. Bush.
H.W.
Dick and Bush, like Dick Cheney.
Yep.
See, that's people didn't even catch
joke when I was in grade school.
Dick and Bush. Dick and Bush. I mean, come on, man. Dick and Bush. And don't forget, he went out at 84 as well. He went out at 84. I had a hunch he was going to go out at 84. I didn't think he was going to live past 84.
Another bullshit story too, with no evidence.
He died peacefully. Yeah, and don't forget they had his funeral on what was it, number 46's birthday, his 83rd birthday, by the way. Joe Biden.
there was that whole conspiracy at the funeral with Obama and George Bush too, and the Clintons passing those letters around and them looking like horrified when they're like, like they're in class, like passing letters back and forth, and they're all like looking horrified, like, and people just got to speculate and go down a rabbit hole. Oh my gosh, he just told them that, people were just speculating.
The Clinton email. You guys remember the Clinton emails? The Clinton emails. Oh my God. Yeah.
Where are the emails, Hillary? Release the emails.
I remember that was a big thing back in 2016. That was when I first started waking up. I was like, But see, that's the thing too. Like, there's people out there who blame shit on there's people in Israel. I'm not gonna say the J word. I'll just say people in Israel. And people always like to just blame shit on Israel. It's like, I'm not gonna lie. 10 years ago, I did the same thing. I blamed shit on the small hats and the people there in Israel. But I had to actually take a step back and be like, okay, wait a minute. Wait, there's something bigger than just these people here. There's secret societies. I already knew about the Masons, and I knew about the Catholic Church. I just didn't know about the Jesuits. I didn't know about the Jesuits until later on. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the Jesuits until later on.
It's like blaming the people you go to church, like you met at a church, and saying they're the ones. Like, it's like, no, in every organized religion, what you guys need to do is wake up past the first step. It's like, you got to get past the fucking first step. There's more steps involved. Keep going. You'll realize that it's like the people you're probably blaming have as little to do with it as, like I said, the people like your church. If you go to a Christian church or even a Catholic church, it's like, I will kind of, as far as organized religion goes, I've had an incident in my childhood at a church with some, anywhere where kids assemble and there's trust involved, that's gonna pull in creeps. So like, that's natural. That doesn't, of course, but yeah, you can sit there and say it's all Catholics. It's like, no, there's sick people who are able to.
People like to blame things on one organization. People like to blame things on one organization. I don't just blame things on the Jesuits. I blame stuff on other organizations too. The Masons.
Well, yeah, you're clear about it. You're clear that the Jesuits are a specific arm, and you point out where that arm matters.
They're up here, and the Jesuits are up here, and you got the Masons, which below them. But then you have the tiny caps. The people in Israel. They're at the very bottom, if anything. But and not to say that the people in Israel, those JEWs, they don't have anything to do with anything. They do, but it's not as much as the Jesuits and the Masons.
The ever going and never going to end, I would assume, debate on just what
you can't just blame things on one organization. That's one thing you can't.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but like just what a small cap is, like who are the real small caps is already like a major thing people talk about.
Yeah,
of course you got the Hebrew Israelites and all sorts of things like that, but a lot more than that.
But the Hebrew Israelites are Masons as well. Some of their not all of them, but I feel like most of them that are in the Hebrew Israelite. Again, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are, probably a majority of them are part of a Prince Hall Lodge, if anything, like a Jesse Jackson.
And in doing your due diligence and your research and looking back at just look at the figures that, like, what you need to understand is that almost all the prominent figures in our history are involved in secret societies, and that right there should point a finger and make you wonder, like, is that a coincidence? Am I just going to just brush all that aside and say that's all just a coincidence and just in one fleeting sweep? Or am I going to look into these things? It's like every Black History Month, I got to sit there and watch every prominent Black history guy. I'm like, Boulay, Prince Hall, Boulay. Yep. And it's just like, and I'm not singling out Black people. It just happens to be Black history. So I'm pointing that out.
Here's one thing I want to say, though, because I know a lot of people, they come across this work and they'll just they'll broad brush. They'll say every Jesuit is bad. Here's the thing. I've met a couple of Jesuits who went to, I want to say where Gavin Newsom went to school at.
Santa Clara.
I met a couple of people from Seattle U who went to Jesuit University, and they're not bad people. They're just normal people. But here's the thing with people. People like to blame Oh, every Jesuit's bad. Not every Jesuit's bad. It's the people in power. People like Gavin Newsom, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. Those are the Jesuits that we're exposing. Not your everyday person that goes to Georgetown or your everyday person that goes to Seattle U. I'm not saying anybody that goes to these universities are bad. I mean they have great they are great schools. But at the end of the day, the organization which stands behind them is a very evil organization.
I'll even double down on that. If you got I'll just keep saying, guys, do your research because I've looked into these things and there's more. You got to look into the logistics of these things. That's what I got super into, is like looking into how things could possibly happen. And in doing so, you look up at the structure of the Vatican, the papacy, and by extension, the Jesuit order, because that's where they sit. They're in the Vatican. You can't just walk up in the Vatican, no matter how loyal you are to your overlord or your Jesuit master. You can't just walk up in the Vatican. You have to do a certain amount of grueling theurgy and theology, and you might even have to. You generally have to do some sort of missionary work as well. And there's certain things you have to do. And I'm not saying these people are doing things righteously or anything. They might be doing things that appear righteous in order to attain their goals for their leader, or, for eventually advancing their own career to be the next leader that gets to pull the strings, which makes it bad. But at the same time, you got to understand, it's not just paint like exactly like you said, like if we're going to bomb somewhere, don't go bomb Loyola, Marymount, and kill a bunch of people's kids.
Exactly. People haven't done shit to nobody. Yeah,
that's like the same thing as like bombing. The Masons recruit from construction offices. We're gonna start bombing all the construction. That makes no sense.
It's stupid. It's dumb to just brush shit like that. Yeah, exactly. If we're gonna bomb anything, I feel like, and I kind of don't want to say it on here, but if we're gonna do anything like that, I'd say
I opened up a can, didn't I?
DC,
the
Vatican.
That's what I always say too. Drop a nuke on DC. Get it out here.
Yeah. Get DC. Why do we need Washington District of criminals around anymore? I mean, they're not doing anything good for us. They're not helping us out.
Right. I'm 3,000 miles away in the real Washington. I don't care about that Washington. I get that out of here.
Someone should at least take a bulldozer to the monument.
Maybe France.
Because
they'd be doing their mad rituals pointed at that stupid dick pointed up halfway into the skyline.
The Washington Monument that looks like a giant dick. Yeah.
They all face towards it on election day, and they do their ritual pointed to the pentagram and
dick.
It's more than that too, because what's on the ground is a pentagram, and whatever you want to say about that, once again, there's research to be done. It's not like I've completed my research and I'm saying, oh, my thesis is complete. No, I'm just saying, like, I've looked into these things.
Logan, I'm still doing my research too.
Of course, it never ends, brother.
I learned something new. You know what I mean? So, like the other week, or was it last week? I came on here and I said I didn't even know there was a 96-degree Freemason. I didn't know that. But that was recently, and I see somebody talking about it. I'm like, oh, it's a 96-degree. Oh, and then click on, well, Freemason equals 96. I'm like, oh shit. So. Yeah, there's probably some more research to be done, and I'm going to be honest. We probably haven't, we put the pieces to the puzzle together, but we're probably not even done yet. There's more out there. You know what I mean? So
it's going on by the day, by the week, by the month. We're piecing it together like never before.
We're just stacking it up. Yep, we're stacking our resume.
There we are.
And in doing so, it should, speak for itself. Of course, we can be wrong, obviously, and we are sometimes. But the point being is.
Yep. It's just like when these idiots, they want to come around and be like, make a prediction. Why don't you guys make a prediction? You guys never make. It's like, dude, we made a bunch. I'm pretty sure you guys have made predictions. I've made a ton of predictions. I mean, come on. I just gave you guys 2 predictions. Go back again. Watch my New Year's Eve stream. I talked about Minneapolis and why watch. I even emphasized, I said, because remember George Floyd got killed in the corner of 38th in Chicago. I said, watch out for that. I guarantee they're going to do some stuff with Minneapolis. And sure enough, a week later, the Renee Good thing. And then what happened afterward? Was it Oregon? Oregon, it equals 38. So you had 2 states there, had Florida marked down. You can cross out Florida because, again, you have the shooting in Florida today. So you can cross that out. And there's probably more stuff to be even to unfold. I mean, how these people are. These people like to they don't just stop at one event. They keep on going. This is like
Yep.
I like to refer to it as just like it's like a TV show with these people. They have one script out and they're like, okay, man, we got to script this thing out in advance. You know, that's what they're doing.
I call it a daytime drama. So for the same reason, also because like if you got to understand the things that it's just multiple levels of the same programming. So it's like your mom will be sitting there watching a soap opera, and then at night the nightly news will come on and it'll show you the nighttime soap opera with whoever's in power.
General Hospital.
They'll be that's why they have generally a woman be the press secretary. She'll be like the first one to entice you to watch, and not saying they're all good looking or anything like that. That's for sure. Got some beasts in there, but there's everybody plays a role. Like look at the current administration, like Pete Hegseth looking up in there, Pam Bondi. They just build these characters and they have narratives. Like these people should just be doing a job. We shouldn't know them like they're a character. But that's what people like, the character of Vivek. They like the character of Donald Trump. They like the character. It's like
Cash Patel. They love the character.
Cash Patel. Yeah, they love these
Charlie
characters because they're addicted to shows. Yeah, Charlie Kirk, exactly. They like or hate him. Either way, you guys don't realize you are taking part in what women, when I was growing up, watched when they were vacuuming. Like that. That's what you fuckers are doing. You guys are. And why I say that it's so harsh is because it's like
they're cheering it on. They're cheering it on.
And what really gets me going about it is something me and Austin talk about all the time. I even mentioned it pretty recently, but it's like these are the people that we need, and these people are enamored with this false, honestly, in my opinion, pretty gay like activity, like where you're just like taking part in this like weird fake reality TV show. It's just like, wake the fuck up. It's like, it sucks because it's like we look around and we have like the support of like elderly people and people that are waking up. They see that, and it's just like, that's great. That's really, really good. I mean, in fact, it's impressive because like generally in your old age, you're going to be hardened to never change, but you have this like groups of people that are waking up because of the chaos going on in their groups. I mean, look at what Corona did, or COVID did to the elderly population. Of course, it's an ongoing thing with our Social Security, all this garbage, whatever. You have these people waking up in droves. I've talked to them when we were out in Portland. I was off to the side talking to a bunch of people. I had great conversations with like two older gentlemen that were just like soaking it up, and they were getting it right away. And it was just like, that's so great to see. Then you look at the people that were like, if guns start going off and the military starts walking towards us, we need you dudes. It's like thanks guys. You guys can throw me a new clip and I can, put it in my gun, but I need these guys to fight with me. And they're just like, oh, fucking stupid. And just walking by and going to shitty concerts across the street and drinking their Starbucks. It's just like, fuck.
Logan. And you know what's sad is most of these conservatives, right? They're all about the Second Amendment and all this, right? But they're never going to point their gun at the Orange Goon or anybody like an Orange Goon. They're just not going to do it.
Right.
We need those people to point the gun.
I would say, too, it's all these people that own the guns, but they don't have the mind to own the gun. You got the gun, but owning a gun doesn't do you any good if you don't cut the mind. It's all about the mind. It's just, it's like I would say, you don't fight with a gun. You don't fight with, martial arts or, the different, karate or something like that. No, you fight with your mind. It's all about the mind. It doesn't matter how good your martial arts is, your karate is, what black belts you got, how much guns you got, how much ammo you got. It's all about the mind. If you don't got the mind, you're done. Nope.
Yep. And people have been programmed to think a certain way too. They all want to think like that's the problem. People, they just think the same way. They all have the same thoughts. They don't have differing opinion and differing thoughts. They should. And the thing is, most of these people are still. I don't care if you're on the left or right. They're still falling for the same shit. They're still falling for these same psychological operations. But
good point, because what I was going to bring up earlier was the CNN article about Mar-a-Lago. This is what I pointed out to my kiddo and my girl, is the way they wrote it. I can actually bring it up here, but point being is they're like, they bring up the three, they say they talk about the other assassination attempts on Trump, and they say it as if it's fact. Of course, they will then argue, whether or not he should have, this is what happens when your rhetoric and blah, 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 blah. But they'll keep this baseline fact
Yeah, they'll present
that they can argue about.
They'll present it as if it's like some kind of fact, even though it's a hoax. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the first assassination attempt was a hoax. The second one was even more of a hoax. Come on, guys. I mean, and you bring it up to people like these. I call them conservatards because that's what they really are. But you bring it up to these conservatards, and they think, man, that just sounds so out there. It's like, how does that sound out there? You're literally supporting a pussy grabber and somebody who said he wants to fuck his own daughter. I mean, come on.
I think a lot.
Go ahead.
Hey, 40 chess. Homeboy's gay as fuck and probably likes boys. And so like all of that, it's like lewd to the average person, but the average guy would be like, hey, at least it's women. They won't even think at least it's women. They'll just be like, oh, he's straight. They'll have that idea that he's straight. This is 4D chess. It's to get you to think that he's such a womanizer because he's into women. It's just like, okay, yeah, because all the guys I know have to tell me all the time that they're into women. It's not like obvious. They have to explain it to me.
It just reminds me of that one person that always has to go around saying, "Yeah, I can get all the females, man. I can get all the females." And exactly. They can't even talk to women. Most of the people that support Trump can't even go talk to a woman. I'm sorry, most of them just can't. Anybody that supports any political parties can't even go talk to a woman.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Richard. The incident comes amid a backdrop of heightened political violence in the U.S. In July 2024, Trump survived an assassination attempt. Fact. While campaigning for his second term in Pennsylvania. Another man who planned to assassinate the president at his Florida golf course in September 2024 was sentenced this month to life in prison. Fact. He planned to. Don't question these things. Let's talk about if he deserved it or not.
Old. He just turned 60 years old on February 18th as well. He just turned 60. Donald Trump 60. To the 60th election. I mean, don't forget I think he was sentenced to life in prison 134 days after Trump's birthday to make America great again equals 134. And there's been so many 134 things with Donald Trump. But yeah, I mean, there's another one. There's another one right there.
You know how many fathers have to watch the guy who probably raped their daughter get out after a slap on the wrist in comparison?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then they'll tell you, oh, this guy is so real. He was at the golf course and he was threatening and he used to be, and so he's life in prison. The worst thing that we offer, you get. It's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, and it's just a mock. I mean, Ryan Ruth. I mean, look at fucking Ryan Ruth. First time they gave us the pimply face fucking. I'm not gonna lie, he looked like a virgin.
Don't hate on my boy Thomas Crooks. He's kind of like, ironically, our mascot here.
Hey, Thomas Crooks shooting the crook. I mean, that's part of the mockery too with it. But yeah, you had this pimply faced virgin go out there, oh, he's the one that's supposed to be responsible for shooting. Come on, that's another hoax. The second one, Ryan Ruth looks like another fruitcake. I mean, the guy looks like a fucking fruitcake. I've seen pictures of this dude. Looks like a total fruitcake. But these are our supposed shooters. And then there's also been a rise in these supposed transgender shooters as well. Ties in with both the psyops.
And yeah, it's like for people who are like us, who are understanding of what these things are, it's like it's like dog whistling to us. It's like they're talking right to us and just mocking us specifically because we know, the average person isn't going to call out the fact that these person were transgender and say, oh, they have one sect of people will, and one, you'll have these two opposing people fighting, but we're stuck in the middle saying this is all bullshit. And nobody will listen to us because they'd rather argue about which one of them is right, not realizing it doesn't matter.
They'd rather be on the teeter-totter, teeter-tottering over. And that's what little kids do. They be on teeter-totter. So that's what your average adult is like a fucking kid. Let's be honest. Most of these adults are fucking. They're like children, man. Like children. And sadly, you know what's sad about that, Logan, is my whole life, even growing up and I woke up, I'm like, I felt like just even being around adults, it's like, I feel like I'm the one babysitting these fucking adults.
I was schooling my teachers and they all knew it too. That's why it's like They love to hate me. I mean, they love me and they hated me. It's like they knew they couldn't control me.
Most of them hated me, but two of them liked me. Two of them liked me a lot.
It was like I think it was a respect factor. It's because they like knew that I was on par with them mentally. When I shouldn't be, but like they also didn't like the fact
they didn't like about me. The only thing they didn't like about me is I didn't care for authority, and I still don't care for authority.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, I definitely did not like authority. The two teachers I got along with understood that
too. They used to tell my mom and dad too. He's like, he's a good student. He's a very bright young mind, but he just doesn't like authority. He just hates authority.
Man, shut your mouth. That's the same thing Zach says too. I'm telling you, it's crazy. That's my exact story too. I told Austin this. This is the exact thing I dealt with growing up.
I think I had one of my teachers he's like, hey, Rich, don't ever stop questioning things. Just keep on questioning them, man, because just keep on questioning it. He's like, don't ever stop. He's probably the only one teacher, and I always bring him up. He's the teacher I'm always talking about. He taught me, he's like, people need to pull their heads out of their rear end, because he wouldn't say ass. He'd say they need to pull their head out of their rear end. And he was an older guy, and he was like, Rich, I admire how you just have so many questions and you ask a lot of questions. He's like, you're probably one of the one student that does that a lot, ask questions that need to be asked. You know what I mean?
The best teacher I ever had was a substitute.
Asking all the questions. I was always asking questions. Like when I was in elementary school, like I had a question about this, question about that, or you think about this, think about that. It's like, oh, time for the next subject. Oh, we got to move on. Oh, that's too many questions. It's like, well, why? I'm forced to come here every day against my will. Why can't I just sit here and just question it all day? Because that's what you should do. You gotta,
that's what
you just sit there and question it all. Why do I got to be here? What's this? What's that? Oh, no, you go do this, go do that.
Hey, and suppose you live in a free nation, but you got to go to 13 years of school.
Yep.
You got to be forced to be here. And if you don't go to school, if you don't want to go to school, we're going to lock your parents up.
Yep.
Right. Wait, why has it got to be this building and this teacher and this class at this time? Yeah. What if I want to go to that school at that time, at that building with that teacher and those students? It's like, no, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Everything in your life is just rigged to set up a certain way. It's all set up to just, rig and screw you however they want, put you wherever, set you up. Yep. You got no say in it. You got to just go along with all of it, and they just have their way with you.
That's what it is. Go along, get along. Yep. That's what it is. That's what they want. They want people to go.
It's an extension of the insane asylums. What the old way they used to handle what was deemed, what's the best word? Like, I guess black sheep in a way, but like potential threats to society too, or like the societal makeup, which is basically the societal norm. So it's not like you had to be a threat. Like I'm not talking about a violent threat. Yeah, they say that's what was the purpose of insane asylums, but no, anybody could get thrown in there for a simple diagnosis. Look at what all it takes to get your kid put on a crazy drug, Ritalin or Adderall. Yeah, look at all because he wants to go play outside in front of the huge windows in your classroom that just show the beautiful grass with the toys and everything. And he doesn't want to sit there and like connect the dots and play weird, shitty games with the kid eating glue next to him. And he's the one that needs Ritalin.
When I was a child,
Adderall.
They tried to get me on Ritalin. They said that because I sit down and because I didn't want to sit there and be with the other kids and just. But I'll just be honest, these fucking kids are a bunch of fucking retards. But because I didn't want to be around a bunch of these fucking retards that you're gonna have to give them Ritalin at age 7. I was like, and my parents were like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna give my kid Ritalin because he doesn't want to be here with these other kids. I'm gonna be honest.
Look at the structure of an insane asylum. It's the same thing. It's if you don't do task A, B, C, and D, which includes taking that little cup and drinking the water and opening your mouth, make sure that pill's gone. Yeah, it's just indoctrination. It just advanced indoctrination. And sorry, go ahead though.
Yeah, no, you're right on that. But yeah, I mean, they at age 7. I mean, think about that, guys. They wanted to give a 7-year-old Ritalin because I didn't want to sit there and because I wanted to be outside.
Nowadays, they want to give them titties.
I never liked that as a child being locked up in a fucking classroom with all these like. I'm not gonna lie to you, these bitchy ass teachers. I mean, why do I want to be around bitchy ass teachers? And think about school too. School, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I used to go to school, I used to be like, man, I think is just getting us ready for prison or jail because like the way they treat you in schools is probably the same way they treat you in prison.
Is 100%. The structure is the same. The same thing I was just saying about insane asylums. That is also jail. and it's pre-programming them. It's so that you will be you'll have a less chance of being obstinate when you do go to jail, because the system is set up to make it very easy for you to fall in and go to jail. And in some cases, not even for doing anything at fault in that system. A lot of times it's just wrong.
Because it's deemed illegal. So,
or even if you're wrongly accused or wrongly tried or whatever. You think you'll sit in jail for sometimes months. How often does it come out like a man sat in prison because the paperwork was filed wrong? It's like, bitch, what are you talking about? Nobody check. You don't have people checking these jobs, but you have how many thousands of like guards at prisons? How many thousands do you have to have? How many people do you got doing the paperwork for the people that may or may not go to prison? Like 3? Is it like 50 guards for every one person like processing people's
and most of those
paperwork?
guards are corrupt too.
Of course.
They take part in all kinds of corrupt activities
because it's like mercenary cop.
Yep.
And of course this is acting like cop is the good one, but I'm just saying, like, it's the ideal. They know that they get to like it's open corruption, but the police at least have to try to hide it for the most part.
Oh, I think most cops are pretty much out there with it.
I guess, yeah, you're right, because it's like, who's gonna stop me? You want to talk to my boss? He told me to do it.
Yeah, who's gonna stop me? I got a badge and I got a gun. What are you gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you do something about it, I'm gonna get suspended. You're not gonna talk ever again.
So if you try to do something about it, I'm gonna kill you. I'm just gonna up this gun and kill you. And most of these cops, let's be honest, most of these cops come from backgrounds where they've gotten bullied and they just take it out on everybody else because they gotten bullied their whole life, and they're like, I got a gun and now I got authority, and now I can fuck with whoever I want to.
All monitors, bro.
And they got to make it cool too. They got to make it a fad. It's why you got all the women police officers too. They got to get them in there, and
got to get got to get the women acting like men.
Well, what it is they have a chip on their shoulder, and when people wear their emotions on their sleeve, they're the easiest to control. This is psychology 101. Some people are tough eggs to crack, but that doesn't mean that they don't know that they don't have the skills to crack them. They will just try A, B, C, and D, and once they get a piece, they'll attack that piece. And with women, unfortunately, I think we all know that there's certain things you can manipulate easier than maybe other groups. And this isn't a bad thing. This is not to say that it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing that it's taken advantage of. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Males have it too. Males have ways that you can take advantage of them. Obviously, look how many die in wars.
Like women do. Women get the same thing. The only thing is some of these higher ups, they take advantage of these women, and they do something sexual with them. So, and some of them even blackmail.
Absolutely. And what's worse is I feel like we're heading towards a day and age, or we're already in it, to where that idea has kind of like, what's the term? Like when it's kind of become the norm to where it doesn't take coercion anymore. Nowadays, you might have girls getting together for drinks on the weekend, talking about how they want to get in the position to be able to sleep with their boss or like to move up. Now it's not even, you're not even having to try to take advantage. Because I watched this show called Mad Men. It was about like the beginnings of the ad agencies in New York, and how it was just like corrupt and like orgy based, and like this guy, everybody was trying to sleep with everybody, and there was a lot of taking advantage of the women. That would be considered taking advantage of the women because they had no agency in the workplace, according to the shows and stuff. Nowadays, I feel like it's kind of flipped on its head, and now you have like women understanding the game and just wanting to, rather than being taken advantage of, they'll jump out there.
You got women willingly participating in it.
Yeah. And it's just
10 years ago, that wasn't a thing. 10 years ago, that wasn't the thing. 10, 15 years ago, even 20 years ago, that wasn't a thing. But now I'm gonna say this about these modern women now too, that they're just open with it. They're open with it. And they'll say it straight up. Especially these OnlyFans models too. But see, I can't really get mad at these OnlyFans models either, because you got to realize these men who can't get any women, they kind of built those women up.
Exactly,
So
100%. Yeah.
You can't. What's that old saying? Don't hate the player, hate the game. But
I hate both still.
Yeah, and you look at society. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, there's more. You have more loser men than you have women. I mean, it's like, who do I blame? If I had to blame it, I'd probably say it's 70% of the men and probably 30% of the women. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, and that's the thing. There's just all these loser men. Because weak men create
Andrew Wilson types.
Andrew men, they're screwing us over too, because they're contributing to all this. They're creating our downfall. They're part of it all too. So it's like, yeah, I point the finger more at the men than the women, and most of the women are doing better now. But yeah, it's like, you go back a decade ago, there wasn't OnlyFans. There wasn't OnlyFans. I mean, there was always porn and stuff like that, but porn was porn. Things were like that, but there wasn't OnlyFans and all this stuff now. I mean, this stuff, it just came about within the last decade, and it's exploded in like the last 9 years. I mean, that's who's towing the line. I mean, it's
what's crazy about OnlyFans is OnlyFans didn't start out as like a share sexual stuff. It started off as like a cooking thing. People share their cooking stuff and stuff of that type of nature, but then it turned into something sexual, and women posting their, and there's men on there who do the same thing, post their sexual content on there. But I'm not against anybody who watches OnlyFans. Hey, if you want to pay for OnlyFans, hey, that's up to you, man. Hey, more power to you. If you want to pay for OnlyFans, hey, go right ahead. Hey, I'm not gonna stop you, but what I'm gonna say is, like, if you're still, let's say, okay, if you're 30,
you might catch a stray though from us verbally.
Yeah, if you're 30 years old and you're still fucking watching OnlyFans and jerking off in your fucking hand, you need to reevaluate life. You might need to get out there and start actually talking to women and put yourself out there instead of sitting at home jacking off to a screen, because that's all you're really doing. And to be honest, whenever you're jacking off to these OnlyFans, I'm gonna just call them what they are, OnlyFans hoes. On their Instagram and social media, they're already posting their shit on there for free. So why are you subscribing to a monthly thing to watch? You're not even getting side boob action. So it's like, why are you paying a month?
You know what? As far as my sister can tell, I'm the misogynist of the show. So I'm gonna take my mantle and kind of push back that idea that, Austin, you mentioned the men being losers.
Yeah.
What is the female equivalent? In my opinion, taking advantage of like mentally inefficient men, like choosing to do that, that's a loser fucking move for a woman. There's so many opportunities for women nowadays that have nothing to do with like showing their bodies, but how many go that route? Those are losers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, it's a dual thing. It's a
dual-edged sword.
They're going to hit both sides every time. And it's just like, of course, it's hard for people to separate sides. So she'll hear what I say about women and completely ignore the things I say about men, because I'll bring up things like World War I, because in my opinion, as far as the U.S. goes, that was basically the start of this industrialization of separation of the household. It's, obviously the men went off to war, so the women took over. And what I say is, it's the women's fault and it's the men's fault. And if the men refuse to go to war, the woman wouldn't have to be faced with that choice to then, the coercion to, hey, come do the factory jobs. And then they never left. They never left from that thing. But it's just like, she stuck it like, but the men went off to war. And who made the men go to war? More men. And it's just like, she's not that menacing. She's pretty understanding on most things, but it's the same kind of mentality. And it's just like, yeah, but
that's the mentality we got to break too. That's the one mentality we got to break in society.
Yeah, one thing I'll say though too, like in the last, I would have said, if you asked me like a decade ago, or even like, over like 6 years ago, or at least a decade ago, I would have said, if you would have blamed like more men or women, who do you think it is? I probably definitely would have said women. But in the last like decade, I mean, it's just like, you have men have just like, they've just fallen off just so bad, because men don't want to do anything. This is the biggest thing I see for the most part. Now, I mean, like, there's still men that work hard and go to the gym and do stuff, but for the most part, honestly, like, the people, especially in my life, I can attest this. It's always the women that want to do stuff. Like, you want to, make moves in business or money or do things or start a revolution or fight back or do anything. I mean, it's there's always women. When I went up to Pound Pavement, I mean, it was I went out there 4 times in Seattle. What in 2024 myself, I had 2 times to come out was Vanessa, and then it was me the other 2 times. And it's like even
shout
stuff like Live Good. Like I'm thinking I'm starting now. It's all women and people I know. Like I went to that thing on Thursday, like I told you about, all women. There was 4 women there, and then it was me. But that's how it is with like everything. It's like always the women. It's like all I want to be around and talk to and like be around is like women, because like the men for the most part don't want to do anything. And the other thing is too is they don't want to work together either. Like that's the thing. Like men are supposed to, men are supposed to be, business open minded, supposed to be, fighting revolution, speaking out,
Right.
Coming up with revolution, ways to do it, anything. They should be out pounding pavement. It's no different than when we went out to pound pavement and when I first met Logan, that day. I mean, Zach's there, I'm there, there's Logan. Where's all the men? I mean, you might as well send 5-year-old girls out there, because that was the way it felt like. Where it's like, well, we're screwed. There's nothing. I couldn't believe. I mean, Zach was out there. Like I understand. Like if I go out there, there's gonna be no one out there. Like people like, but like Zach goes out there. I was expecting people to come up and show up. I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see who comes out today. Well, Logan was scheduled. Zach was scheduled. I wasn't even scheduled to be there, and I came all the way from Seattle. Where's everyone else? Just hiding away. This is the problem. This is what I see. Like, I don't know. A decade ago, I swear there would have been more men out there, more men doing things, more men wanting to come together, work together, build stuff, fight a revolution. I know there's people there. There's people doing vigilantes type stuff, bounty hunter type stuff, things like that. Kind of trying to make a difference. But for the most part, I mean, men. You don't even, like. There's men at the gym. Obviously there's there's some pretty competitive people I'm around, so stuff like that. But other than that, men are just done. They're done for, and it's just like I think that's like the biggest problem we have right now. It's just like how screwed like things are, especially from like my age down. Like if I'll be in my 32nd year of life, and just in 2 months. That's insane already. I'm going to my 32nd year of life. Like for people like, like King's age and like Sebastian's age, like your generation compared to like my generation and then like where like Logan's at and like Zach, there's such a fall off there that's so insane that nobody talks about or thinks about. But like the way I see it, it's just crazy. And like King talks about all the time, like, his generation, just like there's no one like him. Like, yeah, most people that are in this community, it's people that are, around my age and older. There's not a lot of young guys out there that really want to do stuff. And I made the mistake myself, like thinking when I was younger, there was going to be people to do stuff with and, build community. That's all I wanted to do when I was in my teens and my 20s, build community, find like-minded people, do stuff like we're doing now. Well, here we are. I'm going to my 32nd year of life, and here it is. This is what we got right here. Here's our army,
Hey, Austin, I'll add on to that. There is people that are in my age range in the community, but I feel like they're around here for the wrong reasons. Just like a lot of these trolls.
Exactly.
They used to be here. They used to be around here and going out there pounding pavement. They're not even around no more. They're trolling. They're talking shit now. Oh, this is a scam and all. Those
exactly.
People, they and here's the thing. I think most people, they don't want to get onto it. They'll only pay attention to it if it's drama. If it's drama, they'll pay attention to it all day, every day. But if it's no drama, anything going on, they're not going to pay attention to it. People don't care about knowledge. That's the sad part. People don't care about knowledge.
Exactly.
People in my age demographic, they don't care about knowledge. They don't care about knowledge. I try to talk to people in my age demographic all the time about this stuff, and they think I'm insane. Oh, you're an insane. You're schizo. You're weird. I don't want to be around you.
Well, here's the silver lining, gentlemen. We do exist. And what you pointed out to me is something I think is actually cool. Or not what you pointed out to me, but to me, what you pointed out, Austin, the generational gap. I find that really cool. I actually, part of me even thinks it's like, whatever destiny, is, it feels like it's kind of meant to be like, this is how it happens. I think the fact that we show that 4 different generations are able to have like-minded and like understanding of things, pick up on the same things, understand the same things, relatively quick. Not just that. Okay, put all that aside. Like the way we're able to get together and hang out and talk too. Like that's something that's missing in the world. So like we've said, Austin, like we wanted this to be a bigger deal, a bigger podcast to get. One of our main reasons is to get the fuck people out of their shells and become people again, because people are just not people anymore. But like, and in saying so, like, dude, I think it would be really cool to do like a generational podcast. I know that's like a
another thing too is the whole generation. The reason why you don't have too many people, who are around my age, a little bit younger than me or whatever, probably more Sebastian's age, because they're so glued to their phone. You know what I mean? People are so glued to their phone and looking at the wrong things. Like I mention this all the time. People in my age demographic, probably a little bit older than me, they've gotten so comfortable with TikTok, watching just these mediocre ass females shake their ass on TikTok. They rather watch that than watch somebody give information and facts and knowledge that they can benefit them for the rest of their life.
Well, here's another fact to throw at you, or another concept at least to think about. When you're younger, you're under a lot more. When you're in the systems that people are put into, that we've all pretty much had to go through, there is a looming pressure, and there's different pressures, but it all comes down to this heavy pressure that's put on kids. And we all know that as we get older, we learn things and we understand that no, we're more of an individual than we were told when we were kids. If we wake up, that is, then you realize that you're very much so an individual and you need to continue to be one, because being a drone isn't going to help anything. But the more you shed that like drone mentality and that pressure, you got to realize these kids are under a lot of pressure that should be alleviated by the parents. But look at the parents. They're the parents that just went through that pressure and popped out a kid and I was one of them. I had my first kid at 19. So it's not like I'm not sitting here shitting on everybody. I'm saying that's what it is, that it happens that way. But yeah, if you're just going to sit stagnant and lean into it, then it's just like, you're no good for yourself. You're no good for the next generation. And look at what's happening. Yep. But there is a pressure there. So, and as much as I am right there with you, I did feel like I was in a pool of retards. Like I felt like I was surrounded by retards that they're a step away from eating glue.
I feel like that. Like when I started getting older too, I was like the same show. I was like, these people are a bunch of fucking idiots. They can't even form a fucking sentence. They're scared to ask questions. Why the fuck do I want to be around these fucking sorry ass people? Why do I have to sit here for fucking 8 hours, learn bullshit, be around these bitchy ass teachers who don't even like their job? And they like, what was so it's crazy because these teachers, I would listen to their conversations and they would say, I'm only here just to get a paycheck.
Of course.
And it's like, you don't even like your profession. So it's like, what the fuck are you even doing here? You're sitting here being a teacher because you're just teaching curriculum because they're telling you to do it. It's just because it gets you a paycheck. That's it. Some of these teachers don't even give a fuck. Some of these teachers don't even give a fuck. Some of these teachers are just so fucking. They're lazy. They're worse than the fucking kids. Most of these kids don't even go to PE. I was like pretty much the only one in there playing ball, throwing the ball around and all that type of stuff. All these fun kids are a bunch of losers, man.
PE should be at least twice a day. It was every day for my early childhood, and then all of a sudden it was like twice a week, or on A days or on B days. I'm like, fuck, what?
Do you remember they used to have the get up and play 60 minutes a day?
Yeah.
Remember that? What happened to that? Like, where did that go?
Yeah, you don't see that no more. You don't see them advertising that no more. You really don't. I remember seeing that back as a kid. I remember seeing NFL 60, get up and play 60 minutes a day. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Now we're talking about a different NFL 60.
Yeah, now we're talking about different 60s.
Yeah, now we're talking about Super Bowl 60. And that's that part. These people they'll sit there and they'll idolize these fucking Manchurian. I call them Manchurian because that's what they are. Manchurian test tube babies. And they're sitting there, oh man, I want to be just like Russell Wilson. I want to be like Drake May. It's like, these people are born into it. And then you tell these people that, like, what are you, some kind of weirdo? Why would they want to be? Why would they be born and bred? It's like, okay, asshole. Like, if they're not born and bred, how come you're not out there fucking blowing the ball around? If you're such a good athlete, then why aren't you out there in the NFL? It's because you weren't born and bred into it. That's why. Like, for instance, me, I could have been an all-star athlete following my dad's footsteps, but I didn't. Took a different path. And you know what? I look at it in hindsight. I'm glad I didn't, because I guarantee you, if I would have did that, I'd probably be the ritual sacrifice. You probably hear about me in the obituary. So yeah,
Make a great point.
that's not to say that I don't go out there and do stuff. I mean, should I still go? I mean, I still go outside. And, like, a lot of people in my age demographic, they're they're driving around, they're on their phone, TikTok, doing that shit. Dude, I'm outside mostly all the time out there. Playing ball, throwing the ball around, playing a little game of pickup ball. I mean, most kids aren't even doing that anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's how I am too. Like I'm very active. Like I want to do things. I want to get after it. If I'm not, if I'm not at the gym, I'm at the trampoline park. I'm out running. I'm out, trying to do this, trying to do that. I'm going here, going. I'm just 100 miles an hour all day long. Like I have the drive. Like I actually want to do something. I want to be something. I want to be a winner, or at least go out fighting or go out trying. If I lose, I fall flat on my face, well, at least I tried. I'll go down as a great trier. At least you tried. I mean, that's what I was telling Logan earlier tonight. Like life's all about taking risk. I don't tell you what risk to take, whatever risk you want, but it's all about taking risk and
you're never going to get anywhere in life if you don't take a risk. That's one thing out there for anybody out there. You're not going to learn it. You got to take even if you think an opportunity is not going to work out, you need to take that opportunity. It doesn't matter if it's a new career path. It doesn't matter anything in life. Even if you think, man, it's going to be buying a house. I know it might be risky and shit, but if you have the money and you can invest in it, do it. Well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to get kicked out of the house. Okay, well then, if you get kicked out of the house, try again. You got people. That's what people. They don't take risks. People don't take a risk. People, and another thing too, people don't even know their neighbor either. Like you're just saying, nobody knows their community no more. Like my whole block here, I know my whole neighbors. My neighbor across the street from me, very good guy. I talk to him very much all the time. Nobody knows their fucking neighbor. I guarantee you survey the average American, they don't know who the fuck they're living by, or who they're next to, or who's there with them. They don't even know. They couldn't even tell you.
Exactly. Yeah. Even people around me, like I know people around me pretty decently, because I'll see them outside, I'll see them walking, or they'll say hi, I will say something. But yeah, definitely. I mean, try and catch people here and there, but I'll have conversations with people. But yeah, I mean, that's just the thing now too. I mean, yeah, most people, they don't know their neighbor. They don't want to get to know their neighbor. There's no, there's used to be like people, whether you like, there was like ways to mingle. People wanted to like, at least, even if people didn't like you, there was always like still a conversation to be had. Now everything's just like silent, dead, people in their own little world. It's just, it's people got to do, like we were just talking, like people got to do whatever they want to do, whatever risk you want to take, whatever. But it's just like, we just come to a point where it's just nobody wants to do anything. They don't want to talk to their neighbor. They don't want to take risks. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that.
They don't want to go outside, walk around. I mean, shit. Most of the time, like if I'm feeling like down or whatever, like I'll go outside and walk around. I'll walk around the whole town if I have to, 2 times if I have to. Just
Yeah.
Most people don't even do that. They don't even want to go and do that. Most people just want to sit in there and play their video games. And there's nothing wrong with video games. Okay, I play video games. There's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, if that's all you're doing with your life, and that's all you're doing with your time, and you're not doing anything with it, it's like, oh, what are you really doing with your life? I mean, what are you doing with your life? You're just sitting there doing nothing.
Exactly.
The only people who have recognized me as a great trier have probably been some of my past ex-girlfriends. I think they'd label me a great trier, but that's something totally different. But no, yeah, I agree. There's one thing apart from all the things that we're talking about, which is like the numbers, the contrived, the narrative. Like, guys, we got a life to live. Like, we have to live this life, and a life worth living is the only thing really that should be paramount to the world's issue. Like, number one issue should be making the life that we all have to live something worth living. And we're so divided, and we can't agree on anything, and we can't get together on everything. And we don't need to get together on everything about everything in order to have a cohesive structure. And like you mentioned, it's the old way society was actually structured around, like you said, mingling, like whether or not it was the bus coming around everybody living relatively close to each other, so they'd all go out to the bus at the same time, and the parents would talk and they'd pick up their kids. There was this like everybody did the same kind of thing. I will say this though, I have been basically my last neighbors. I couldn't find a good thing about them. I mean, I think I've told you. I mean, I lived in a duplex, so by actual like attached neighbors, I couldn't find a good thing about them. And then the neighbors on the other side, across on the other side of the fence from me, another duplex right next to ours, like they would do satanic rituals in their backyard straight up. And the guy was a Mason, 100%, drove Uber, wore a kilt all day too. Very similar to those Order of the Eastern Star guys hanging out. But anyway, I did notice that about me and my girl. And as soon as we moved out here, dude, don't get stuck in that. Don't get stuck in the hate the guys next to you for whatever reason. That is a trap, because I've since put myself out there, gone to, not waited for them to come to me, gone to all my neighbors. Of course, this is a more rural area now, so I have like 5 or 6 neighbors that I've went and talked to, and ended up making a great friend. The guy who lives in the huge property right behind me, he's helped me before we had a riding lawnmower. He helped mow all of our acreage because the grass is getting so tall. He does like fabrication. He has like a metal fab, one of those huge metal fab. Can't remember the name of those things, but he made a huge sign for our restaurant, a big pig sign, and I've had really good conversations with one of my like an elderly guy down the road. I've told them about the podcast and everything. I don't think any of them have watched it, but I've had really interesting conversations with them, and they're good people, and they can help, and we can help them.
It'd be very interesting if they watched the podcast.
I told 2 of them about it, but yeah, I don't think they've watched it. Unfortunately, one's a pretty diehard like liberal, and the other it's so funny. The other one's a Trumper.
Right, they'd probably hate my rants, because I mean I know I go off pretty hard, but
you guys don't support Trump? You don't love Trump? Oh, I hate you now.
No, I mean I was straight up with him. I was straight up with the guy who does. He was more like moderate, at least in speaking to me. Maybe he just knew how to read the room, so he didn't want to like have an awkward conversation with me. And he is a bit, but it's not like he has any Trump signs.
Yeah, he didn't want to draw waves. Yeah. Yeah.
But he disagreed about certain things to do with it. I can't remember what the story was at the time I talked to him about it. Unfortunately, he's gone doing like he's an electrician for a construction contractor, and so probably a mason as well. But
right? Don't they call construction masonry?
Well, he doesn't personally do masonry, but he does do the wires behind it. Maybe that's even more symbolic. Maybe he's higher up. He's like the brains behind the stonework.
Yeah, I've always wondered why. I'm like, why do they call it masonry? And then I think about like, oh, the masons are the builders. Yeah.
I wish it wasn't always. They should.
Go ahead.
They should phase out speculative Freemasonry. They should make them be Masons again. They should at least have to be like building cool buildings. Like we have to live in this square, like dystopian society. At least build some cool like shit. You don't even build shit anymore.
Most people, they can't even build shit. They can't even build like mostly like I'm sorry, just most of my generation. I'm not saying all of them. All of my generations is bad, but most of these fucking generation, they can't even put a fucking Lego together. What makes you think they're gonna be able to put a fucking building together?
Well, they're chasing the imaginary, they're chasing the dreams that's been sold to them, that is being like programmed into their heads. And they like,
now people my age demographic, now they want to be a rapper. It's like
streamer, rapper.
Like like I used to have an old buddy of mine that I used to work with. He was cool, but he was like, yeah, I'm trying to be a rapper. I'm trying to make it out, man. I'll be a rapper. And I listened to his music. His music was trash. I'm like, I just didn't want to tell him that, but I'm like, dude, I was gonna say this song blows. Like,
bro, I used to rap.
Yeah, but this guy was.
I had my time.
Bad. Like he had auto-tune. It's like you have to be bad when even auto-tune can't even save you. It's like,
dude, my lyrics were fire, dude. I still remember all my lyrics. Maybe one day I'll grace the platform with them. They're pretty raunchy, but they're pretty ahead of their time, I would say.
Not rhyme. He would just use the same line every third bar. He would just say the same line.
No, I made stories. I would make little stories. It's just they weren't Tupac level, but they were they were aimed more at being like funny
Yeah.
or like what's the word, like shock value a little bit.
Rap. I used to, before I did gematria and all this type of stuff. I was successful at it too, is making music. I was doing that for a while.
I can imagine you making good beats, dude. You should keep doing it. Keep it
Yeah.
on the side. Don't lose it.
Here's the thing with that. I'll share that. I started making music around like 2012-ish, around that time. I had to be about like 10 years old. And the only thing I had back then was shitty ass. You know, I still have the speakers right here. I should see if I can get them out here. Hold on, guys. Well, I'm not gonna try to get them out because I gotta get all this stuff out of here. But I had some shitty speakers, and like I had like this shitty ass Dell laptop, and I used to make music and stuff like that, and I was very successful at it. But thing is when you start getting into like you send your music out to people, send your music out to these labels and whatnot, and I never forget it, man. I was very good at that, and that's actually one of my passions. I was really good at, like, just making music and just to be able to make music on a computer and FL Studio and have do all stuff. That was for me. I was like, man, I
What I
want
used.
to do this. So I was pushing myself on doing it, but the thing was is I had some asshole, and I was making money just ghost producing. And if anybody out there that wants to make money and wants to make some easy cash, and if you have creativity and you know how to make music and you have a little bit of sound, you don't even have to have sound. You don't even have to have a like sound design. But even if you know anything about it, you can make a song in what, an hour, 2 hours, and it sounds good. You can produce for other people too. But I was doing that because I stopped producing. I didn't stop producing. I just stopped putting it out under my name. And what ended up happening is I was working with a guy, and I was gonna charge him, and instead of paying what I was charging him, I charged him like $200 for a ghost production, which is very cheap back in 2013. This dude was a hacker. I didn't know he was a hacker, but he ended up hacking my email, and I had all the files that I had sent him in there. Me and him would talk back and forth on Skype and Gmail. He hacked that email account, and he got he got the full project and everything, stole it, took my name off of it, and just started and put his own name on it and started sending all these other people. He almost got it signed to a label back in 2014. He got it played pretty on the radio on Sirius XM, and these people were playing it out. These DJs were playing it out, and it was my song that I did, but he had took all the credit for it and erased my name off and put his name on it and changed the name of the title, and he tried to get it released. I'm like, and I was for months I was like trying to get it off. I finally got the release canceled, but the thing is with that kind of deterred me from making music, because I was like, man, I don't even want to do this, because it's like I have assholes stealing my shit and sending it to the other DJs and shit, and they're playing it and they're thinking it's his song. It's not even his song, it's my shit. But and that song, I'm not gonna lie, the song that I made, it took about 2 to 3 days to make, and then mixing and mastering and whatnot. The song was even mastered. So, but yeah, I was doing that, so I kind of quit. Making music. I stopped. But that's a passion that I've always had, is making music. But yeah, I mean, anybody out there, I mean, shit, if you want to make, if you're creative, I mean, you can do it. You know what I mean? But
You have to have patience too.
you got to have patience, and I mean, you got to. Here's the thing too with labels and stuff, because I deal with some of these damn labels, not big labels, but your average label. I've dealt with them where they, you'll sign a song to them, right? You'll sign a contract with them, but in the contract they'll be like, well, you can't release on other labels. So if you want to release on I don't know, another label, you can't, because you're on our label, you're our artist, you're gonna release. Excuse me. You're gonna release on our label, even if it doesn't fit the sound of our label. It's still gonna go on our label, and I wasn't with that. I didn't like that, because I had other songs that I wanted to give out to other people and other artists and other labels so they can have on their label. I couldn't do that, and if I wasn't free to do that, I didn't want to. I just didn't want to sign with these people, so I cut ties with them. Not to say I hate them, but I mean, I just don't like their contract policies. And that's the thing we're mixed up at when it comes to making music and sending your label. I mean, you can send to a label or send to artists and stuff, but you just got to be careful of the contract. You just got to read the contract, because there's always like different stuff, and there's always like terms you didn't agree to, but it's in the fine print. the small little letters you can't even really read like that. And but the thing is, at the time, I was a young kid, so I was excited. I got these labels or wanted to come. Label wanted to come to me inside my song. Oh, I want to get on there. Like I've been seeing this for a long time. I want to get on there. You know what I mean? But get older, you gotta look at it like maybe this label's just using you just to you can put out a song. And this label they put out mediocre songs that are okay, but they're mediocre.
I kind of want to piggyback on that because one of my I'll call it an obsession, especially in the previous few years, has been music related and industry related and Lucifer related, but I won't get too convoluted. But my point with just you remember how I mentioned is the logistics of things I would get into, like how are they doing this? Who work? What's the inner workings of how they do it? Not just saying, oh, aliens are fake, or just saying, oh, dinosaurs are real, but what is the logistics of how they're doing it, so that it makes more sense than just making a claim. And so it's really interesting hearing you say that, because I have been compiling proofs of industries sharing masters, sharing beats, sharing certain melodies.
Yep.
And that's why you hear the same melodies in so many different songs. I've isolated them and been like, no, this is that melody from that other. You're not just thinking, oh, that sounds like that. No, it is that. And it's not like they're saying, oh yeah, we borrowed this beat from this song. Nobody says that kind of stuff. I'm talking different labels. It'll be like RCA compared to, whatever other
Warner
major label. Yeah.
Warner does
and
that.
It's not like
I've actually almost signed a song to Warner. It was a remix I did. I almost signed it to Warner, but they again, their agreements were outrageous. I was just like, no, if I can't own you guys are gonna own the song. Yeah, it's gonna be on your label, but if I can't get anything back from it, I mean, I wasn't even gonna get very much from it back. So it's like, I'm not doing that. So that's why I didn't sign with Warner.
But it kind of provides me with an understanding of the inner workings. That one huge thing for me was getting off of the fanboy bandwagon.
Yeah.
I loved music, and I was finding myself in really liking the bands. I knew not super hard, but I was going to concerts a lot. I unfortunately on my Facebook somewhere in there's a super embarrassing moment for me now. Initially I was really proud of it, but I went to a Cage the Elephant concert, and the guy crowd surfed, the main guy, and he got up. I was on the railing in between this aisle, and he got up to do the stage. And while he was getting up, he reached his hand out and grabbed my hand to balance himself. So he was sitting there singing, holding my hand. Looking back now, I'm like, bro was sucking my soul out of my body or something. But no, that's a weird thing to say. Take that away.
It's just like that one DJ. I'm pretty sure he got Avicii. He died a couple years back. He 2018. He supposedly died from suicide. He died from no suicide. The guy. I'm not gonna say I know Avicii, but I had a Skype, and me and him used to talk on Skype, and his manager was the real reason behind that. His manager was the real reason behind why he was so depressed. It was, and he didn't kill himself. He was like, he's like, I would never do that. That's one thing I would never do. But our manager. But see, the thing about these people too, these managers are the problem too. That's the only reason why I wanted to stay independent, didn't want to sign, and RIP to Tim. I mean, that right there. When he died, and I got the news that he died, I'm like, man, that's fucked up, man. I have old Skype logs with him, man. It's like, man, the fact that he died, and he used to play a lot of my songs too. He's very supportive, but yeah, I mean, when he died, I was like, man, that was kind of a kicker. But then I was like, these people had managers. A lot of these people, even DJs too. When it comes to electronic dance music, they have managers. They have managers, people behind them. You don't know what's going on in the background with these managers. You don't know what these managers are telling them or having them do. Some of these guys only want to perform at these certain venues and whatnot, and they'll make them go out there because that's costing them money.
What I wanted to kind of, I'm convoluted with my thing. I go into my own stories and shit. But my point being was, you're ghostwriting, you're ghost producing, right. And what I was noticing is that. What helped me break away from them. That was my main point, is that we should not be idolizing musical artists. Look at what happens to the Swifties when they go to our camp, they get stabbed.
Yeah.
But anyway, Travis Scott concerts, come on, the list goes on and on. But another point is, like just personally, you guys should not be idle. I listen to music. I listen to music all the time. I do not revere it anymore. In fact, it becomes like it's almost like a little mini game I play where I like listen to music different now. But what you're opening my eyes to even more is that like the inner workings of these, that I bet most of these major labels are ghostwriting and then reverse engineering the song in order to play them in the musical instruments because they have classically trained people. Like we talk about our favorite bands that are like in rock or grunge and stuff. Go look at their background. Daddy CIA, he got him into a classically trained. It's like these people are like, fuck the government. I never be down with this shit. And then you find out they went to they played the harp at a college for 4 years. It's just like, this is not who I thought I was like idolizing.
Most of these guys in the industry, they don't have any musical background. They really don't. They say they do, but they really don't. Like me, for instance, I play drums, but that was about it. I don't have I'm not gonna say I had a musical background, but I played drums. My mom and dad used to play a lot of Motown, a lot of old school Run DMC and stuff like that. So I got into music that way. But most of these guys that are musicians and whatnot, especially these DJs, I'm not gonna call them out. I'm not gonna say by name, but most of these DJs who get on there and they're on the main stage, they're Ultra, EDC, all these other big venues, Creamfields. They're not making their own music. They're having people like me who are small artists, ghost produce their song, and then they take all the credit for it. Yeah, you get to have credits whenever they sign a label. When you sign it, yeah, you're gonna who made the song. Obviously, the big person that made the song, but they're gonna have the other person sign that. They'll get the credits in the credit, but they won't get it on the label. You know what I mean? Like they won't be.
And nobody's reading the fine print of their CD.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck you, basically.
And
not like you're on the feature.
See, the thing is, back in 2012, CDs were still a thing. Now anymore. It's more about that's
digital plays.
It is more about streaming, Spotify. People are on Spotify more often now. But see, when I started out, it was CDs. 2011, 2012, people were still using CDs. But yeah, nowadays it's all streaming services. So people are not, and let's be honest, guys, people are not gonna fucking give a fuck. Like, let's say somebody makes a great song, this big ass producer makes a good song. Who even knows if it's even could be somebody else doing it?
That is my exact point. You just are way more concise with your fucking speech. Yeah. But yeah, exactly, dude. And you shouldn't revere these people.
Yeah, I've wrote songs for some of these big artists. I'm not gonna say who, but I'm just saying, like, I've wrote songs for some of these big old artists. I've Skyped them. I've had interactions with them. But that's another thing too. Is people won't ever tell you that to get on. Like when these people, like these new artists that get on a label and you never heard their name before, it's probably because they've ghost produced for that artist, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, if you want to release on a label, you can.
Well, there you go. Well, dude, was another great conversation with you. I know Austin needs to be up early again tomorrow, but I will say this, just speaking for myself, it's great to have you back, brother. I appreciate it. Lonely. No, not really. I've had some great company on your streams off, but I'm glad you're back and in decent health. And
but here, just another thing for anybody out there who's into music and stuff like that. Hey, if you want to do ghost production shit, that is a good way to get your foot in the door. But another thing is too, is if you want to make money, that's also it's an easy way to make money, because you don't have to go to a job and clock in. You can, just make good stuff. And people will notice it. But yeah, if you want to make some, there's all kinds of ways to make money out here. Ghost production, Ubers, all that type of stuff. Well, I don't know. Their terms of their policies have since changed, but hey, there's money to be made out here. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. So anybody out there struggling, shit, there's if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, all you can do is try. That's for sure.
That's all you can do.
Well, another banger episode. Had a great time with you, gentlemen, and looking forward to next week with you, Austin. And I figure we'll probably get more in touch with the format we had previously. Unless we have more guests as always, but doing some digging on the NASCAR, and then
You got to get Zach on here for the one time. You got to get Zach on here.
Not just for the one time. I'm telling you, I have this idea for like my working concept name would be like the generational podcast where it's Zach, me, you, and Austin, and it's like 4 different generations, and we just fucking yap. We're all good at yapping. I know that. I don't know if we'd be good at yapping, in our own time frame. That's something we got to figure out. But like, dude, I'd love to have the goat on here, of course, dude.
Hey, and
we're all like 5 to 7 years apart too, which is funny. Like our ages, like the way they line up, it is funny.
Oh, I'm 23. You're what? 31. You'll be 32.
Yeah, you're gonna be 31. Yep, going to my 32nd year of life. Yep. So I'm 7 years older than King, and then Logan's 5 years older than me, and then Zach is 7 years ahead of Logan. So it's like 7, 5, 7. So it's we're all kind of spaced apart pretty equally.
Is me anyway. He's July 24th. I'm born July 21st. I'm born July 29th. So yeah.
I'm the 429.
Oh, you born April 29th. Yeah.
Yep. Big Taurus.
It's funny. You mentioned that because it's the same day in history. GTA 4 came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a different Pearl Harbor Day. I'm January 27th.
Day
after Kobe.
Yeah, the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I get like 2 celebrations. I get Kobe Day and then my birthday.
Yeah. Well, now you get Kobe Day because that's when he died. The day after. Yeah. On 27/1.
All right, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to next time I have you on. Hey, thanks for the impromptu jump on here too, man. That was awesome. I thought I'd throw the line out there. Why not? And,
I might as well, right?
Austin got to see me have all the fun, and I'm sure he was.
It was good to see. It was good to see him on here, man. It was good to see him.
Oh yeah,
you guys.
Yeah, that was a great show last couple of weeks. There was a lot of good moments in there. I enjoyed listening back to those. Yeah, I missed Sebastian there a couple times, and I've been on. Obviously, me and King have been on quite a bit, so we've had a lot to talk about. And it's a great stream coming back, and good to get back with King, and sure I'll get on with Sebastian or whoever at some point. So I know there's still other people that said they want to come on too at some point. So we'll see how that all shakes up here in the future.
Well, yeah, dude. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, of course, check out King's website. Of course, his YouTube will be linked as well as it always is. But yeah, his let me get it up there. Yeah, his free gematria of truth at blogspot. Really great stuff on there. Great. If you got time to check out the latest thing, it's on there almost every time.
Yeah, like I said, if it's in the mainstream, it's on there. Just like this stuff, it's on there.
I put 3 stories up to like in a row, and you had them covered in a row. I was just like, shit, dude, it's a cheat sheet right here, bro. But yeah. So yeah, check out his website. Obviously, let him know how good he's doing on his YouTube as well. And if you have any words for Rich, feel free to leave them in the comments too. And until next week, everybody, have a great one. Later.
Peace.
Peace.